midfla.com.
You can always count on a classic. It's timeless and tastefully legendary. That's the truth behind the Troppy Chop. Often imitated, too delicious to be duplicated. The sauce just won't taste the same. But to really stand out, you gotta stay fresh and move to the beat of your own bowl. The Troppy Chop, only at Pollo Tropical. A classic that never goes out of style.
GiveMeTheVin.com now has 40 offices around the U.S. 40. We did $2 billion in buys last year, $2 billion with a B, because we pay the most, we're easy to deal with, and we take care of you, the customer. That's why we have 4 stars, the highest rankings of any car buyer. GiveMeTheVin.com dominates. Why? Because we take care of our customers. They don't call me America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Injured? Hire America's largest injury firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman & Lind Studios. Why Kaufman & Lind? Find out at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, BANK, B-A-N-K, BANK. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers. You are now listening to The Jim Colbert Show on Real Radio 104.1.
That's right, guys. Here we go on a Tuesday edition of The Jim Colbert Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate that greatly, as we do every single day, and we do have a big old program for you today. We will get you caught up on what's happening out there in the world. We'll do that at 3:20 with Deb's Woke News. 4 o'clock, what'd you do that's new? We will talk about nothing because I suggested something that nobody has the channel to get.
We can talk about it. I watched a little about it.
Okay, very good. 4 o'clock hour, we have, like I said, that, and we have 5 o'clock hour trivia, 6 o'clock Ross Thoughts and Last Call, plus your calls, texts, and talkbacks all day long, plus 4 opportunities for you to win $1,000. Welcome to the program. I am Jim. To my left, my lovely and very dangerous co-host, Ms. Deb Roberts.
Keyword bank.
Straight ahead, producer Jack Bradshaw.
Good afternoon.
Comedy alien Ross Paget.
The paradox of writing a movie about the writing strike.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Find us easily on social. Instagram, Facebook at The Jim Colbert Show. On Twitter, just at Jim Colbert Show. And, of course, all day, every day at JimColbertLive.com. Like Deb said, your 3 o'clock keyword is bank, B-A-N-K. Go to realradio.fm and send that away for your shot at $1,000. It's that simple, and you could win that money. We have yet to have a winner. We are due. My God, we're more due than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the longest drought that I can recall.
It has been a dry spell of epic proportions for us. Usually we have at least one winner. The New Shunky have a winner. The Monsters have a winner. I hate them both.
Yeah, but even as a station, putting your hate aside for your coworkers.
Yeah.
Even the station should have more than 2 at this point.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a shame.
It's our listeners.
It's
I think they're not following the rules.
I'm not going to blame them, although I'm teetering. I'm not going to do it yet, but I do feel like it's mostly their fault.
I got a conspiracy about it.
Oh.
Do you really?
Because we don't have enough of those.
Yeah. I think.
Let's swim in this one.
All right. I think.
Yeah.
That
now, will this one ruin the country?
No.
Okay, good. Go ahead and spit it then.
What I think is that our listeners, they're the best, and they text so much the keyword that they start going like, oh, what's going down there in Orlando?
Oh, they talk like Italians. Oh, yeah, they're in Jersey.
Yeah. So
New
then they start going like, man, they're killing it down there.
Yeah, the south side of San Antonio.
Yeah. Well, we're in New York too, right? Like
we are, yeah.
Right.
That's where all the bigwigs
right.
I'm not living
They're not living in Texas. Give me a break. All right, 407-916-1041. So it's funny. Did you guys see the story about Wilton Manor? I know it's a couple days old, but the rabbit outbreak.
You know, I did because I thought of Fayez Kara's wife, Gabby.
Right, yeah.
Who we have had on Animal House before because they run a rabbit rescue. And she's the one that taught us that unless their bunnies are all brown, but if they're black and white or white, that though chances are those are domesticated rabbits, and they don't have the skills to survive in the wild. People think that because it's a rabbit is a rabbit.
Right.
But they don't know how to hide for predators. They don't know how to burrow.
Right.
And if they're not fixed, they will just continue to reproduce, which I know is what's happening in Wilton Manors.
Yeah,
they are going bunny crazy.
Yeah, they. I guess much like the reptile situation we have in the Everglades, which causes those hunts every year. And of course, just here this past week, one of the biggest ones ever was caught down there, 19 feet. These things, I guess people had them as pets, and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And let me tell you, man, having a rabbit as a pet is no fun. Oh, look,
not for you.
I've seen people that have rabbits, and they seem to be cumbersome as pets. They require a whole bunch of things as pets.
Well,
and
a lot of people believe that it's like a Dalmatian after 101 Dalmatians comes out. Oh, let's get a Dalmatian for the family. Those are nervous dogs that tend to bite small children that pull their ears. Not the best family dog.
Right, exactly.
Same thing with bunnies. People think bunnies are low impact animals, and they're really not.
They are not. They dig under everything. So I guess they can be. Obviously Gabby came in and said that hers were fine, but something happened. Well, like this breeder down there just let them go. And they bred. They did their thing, and they're everywhere.
I'm still waiting for the bad news.
Yeah, there's no bad news.
Because oh no, my neighborhood became more magical.
Yeah. I mean,
with sweet little furry woodland creatures.
Yeah, the whole thing is, if you're going to have an invasion, I guess an invasion of bunny rabbits isn't the worst thing ever.
I'll take bunnies over Russians.
There's
show title, and it's only 5 minutes into the damn program.
Bunnies are Russians.
Bunnies over
Which will
Russians.
It be? Bunnies are Russians.
Like, I hope that they don't click clack. It's hunting season.
Yeah.
Is that where this is
I think
going to go?
I think they're just trying to trap them and then re-pet them or rehome them is what I think is what's happening down there.
Yeah, because I don't believe you'd be able to have an active hunting in a residential area.
Where is this Wilton Manor?
It's in South Florida.
Yeah.
Is that a place?
Yeah,
Wilton Manor?
It's a town.
It's a town called Wilton Manor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
Yeah.
It sounds haunted.
Very LGBTQ plus positive.
It sounds haunted by an old black guy from a TV show.
Yeah. Maybe he's coming back in bunny form.
Yeah.
Maybe the town is trying to say something.
Yeah, the news shots that followed this story were actually kind of funny because they were everywhere. Imagine how squirrels get sometimes of the year in Central Florida.
Yeah.
Like, we go to play Reopen R, like squirrels everywhere. Many more rabbits than those squirrels. Like, they're everywhere.
And are they all white?
They're all lion head bunnies.
Yeah. So they're all like fluffy.
I don't know that they're all white. The ones I saw on television, there was they were brown and white primarily.
Yeah, black and white.
Yeah. Is a lion head a common bunny? Is that like an everyday bunny?
I don't know enough about rabbit breeds. I would imagine that it means that the fur around their face doesn't lay flat back, but it kind of has that manish look, like the messy hair.
And their ears are like lay back. They don't stand up.
Good time to have messy hair, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
They got like lamb chops, like they're part of they're like a double in Gangs of New York. That's what I'm seeing when I look at a lion head photo.
You ever see that movie?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I watched that movie, love the movie, but I'm so thankful that I did not live there in that time.
Yeah. There's one person in that movie that was horribly miscast.
Ooh.
One person in that movie that was horribly miscast.
It can't be Daniel Day-Lewis.
It's not Daniel Day-Lewis. You cannot miscast Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right.
He is impossible to miss. He's the best actor that ever lived.
Well, I hope you don't say Leo because I thought he did pretty well.
No, Leo's fine too.
What was the woman?
Ben Affleck?
No, the love interest.
Oh, she was too pretty.
Is that who you're referring to?
No, John C. Reilly.
He was in that movie.
Yeah, John C. Reilly was, I think, terribly miscast in that movie, and I think it's my fault because I only look at him in comedic roles. I only consider him a comedy guy.
Oh,
but But in Gangs of New York, he was like, Bill the Butcher. He wasn't Bill the Butcher because that was what's his face.
That was Triple D.
Yeah, but he was part of that whole world.
Did you see Chicago with John C. Reilly in it?
No, I did not.
He was fantastic.
Yes, he was.
Was he really?
He's a really good actor.
He is a very good actor, but I think just because of the way he looks, and that's unfortunate, because of the way he looks, I think that it kind of he's able to pull off comedy better. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, I guess, but I also think it's the first time you're introduced to somebody.
Right.
So if you're watching Step Brothers or was it Talladega Nights?
Yeah, Talladega Nights.
Is that it?
Yeah, and Step Brothers both.
Yeah. So if that's your introduction to John C. Reilly, then that's who he is to you. And when he does a serious role, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
The same thing happened with me with Philip Seymour Hoffman, because I think the first time I saw him on screen was in Boogie Nights.
Right.
As that kind of camera guy, where he's like a weirdo camera guy who was, kind of trying to figure out his sexuality and stuff. And throughout the movie, he was kind of finding out he was attracted to dudes. But in that movie, like that's the first time you see him in a movie, or that I saw him. And then, he goes on to be a juggernaut of an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Terrible heroin addict.
First time
he was in The Big Lebowski.
First time I saw him was Along Came Polly, and I'm like, man, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the next movie I saw him in, I'm like, oh, this isn't that funny.
Right. Right. All right.
This movie is not a sequel.
All right, 407-916-1041. Speaking of not funny, it's funny. So the strike is on now, right?
Yeah.
And it's affecting every show. But there's a very interesting dynamic that's happening here, and this has kind of been on the table for a while now for you fans of comedy and sketch comedy, for that matter. So, as SNL takes the summer off, right, and then they come back in the fall. I believe that's how the schedule works.
Yeah.
Right. Now that they're going to have an extended period of time where SNL will not be on the air, they'll be playing replays or whatever. So they did a poll to find out, how people are reacting to SNL not being on the air. And 50% of the people they asked the question to did not miss Saturday Night Live. Like, did not miss it, did not know it was off the air, didn't know anything about it. 50% of the people, this is a Newsweek poll, by the way. Nobody kind of cared about Saturday Night Live. So the question is being posed again whether or not it is a viable program anymore.
I've always been a huge Saturday Night Live fan since the Mr. Bill days, and
sure.
as long as I can remember, because
it was one of our first introductions into that kind of comedy. I mean, it was edgy. Your parents wouldn't let you watch it sometimes.
And that's what you're talking about
Right.
Monday at school.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And this past season, I typically record it, and if I'm not watching it live, I'm usually by Sunday, I'm all caught up. And this past season, I just fell off and stopped watching it.
Yeah, I tell you, for me, the sketches are terrible. A lot of them are written poorly, but the problem is the news segment is so good it could be a show in itself. Like, they could do that Weekend Update thing as a show itself, like as a half-an-hour show, and I would watch that every day with Jost and Michael Che. I would watch that every day. Same writing. It is the best. I mean, that's the best part of that show by a million.
It's funny because I usually would only watch until the end of that, and I'd watch just leading up to it, even sometimes skip the musical guest just to get to the Weekend Update, and then I was usually out by the time that was over.
I would do the wrap up on YouTube because YouTube would have only the best segments or best sketches, and then the musical guest and Weekend Update, and I could kind of watch a truncated version of it and not have to watch all the junk.
You guys were talking about that. You guys were watching it, and that was what you talked about on Monday. And you talk about more cowbell, and you talk about
yeah, buddy,
McKinnon, and the reason why I bring up all these legendary sketches is that you need to have bad sketches for great legendary sketches to exist.
You are correct.
You got to throw a whole bunch at the wall. Then all of a sudden, sometimes that ratio goes a little too south.
Yeah.
People start turning it off. But it would be a bummer. So the only reason why I say that is that, like, I just try to appreciate when it's live, it's comedy. That is such a hard job.
Yeah, I will tell you, man, listening to the Dana Carvey and David Spade podcast called Fly on the Wall, primarily the podcast was created to talk to former SNL cast members and talk to them about their experience on the show, or people who have been on the show a bunch. And they've done that. They're not the best interviewers because they get so caught up in their own thing and they want to kind of interject their own stories so much. You don't get much out of the guest. But what you do get is fascinating. I mean, what you think happens on the show isn't even close to what actually happens. And to be honest with you, the way that Spade and, well, both of them actually kind of talk about how that program gets on the air, David Spade said the first 3 months that I believe that he was on the show, he couldn't believe it even aired every week. Like, he couldn't believe, he goes, you would go through this thing shoddily one time and then you're in makeup and in costume and ready to go with a sketch that you've rehearsed once. Sometimes not at all. Like it was on paper. You did the read through on Wednesdays, and it was just the last part of the show, and you never even rehearsed it. Like he said that it was just amazing it ever made it because of how it has to come together. You know, just a really interesting kind of thing of how you are flying by the seat of your pants a lot of time. The writers handing you new lines on the way to the set for the thing to air in 3 minutes, and you're getting new lines as you're walking down the hallway in costume.
And the stars are important too, having those, giant stars emerge. And if you don't get that, it's just okay, okay comedy, And someone texted in about that, Republicans stopped watching because of bashing the president, but I think that might have been their pinnacle. Well, I overall ratings, I don't know over the 50 years.
Oh, they hammered Bush for years too.
They did, but
and they hammered Clinton as well.
I think they were doing well during the Trump thing. I think after the Trump thing, that's where they're kind of been searching for a couple of years, trying to figure out where to land because they don't have the Trump thing to fall back on.
Yeah, you have to consider, like, I don't know that there are a lot of staunch Republicans tuning in to SNL. I mean, I don't know how that works out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's their thing or whatever, but that show has politically hammered Republicans and Democrats alike. I mean, they were brutal to Hillary and Bill Clinton throughout those years. I mean, it was fun to watch. And really, really good George Bush through a number of people. Actually, 2 George Bushes. Dana Carvey got the dad, and Will Ferrell got the son. Yeah. So they got them all. All right, 407-916-1041. Deb, what's coming up for news?
Well, we're going to talk about the fact a U.S. soldier is in North Korean custody. Canadian wildfire smoke is dipping into Florida, and a man and his dog are rescued after months stranded at sea. We'll talk about that more coming up next during Woke News.
You got it, 407-916-1041. 3 o'clock keyword is bank, B-A-N-K. Go to realradio.fm. Send it off for your chance at $1,000. Back in a sec with more of the show and Deb's news.
Need to hear someone else's opinions before reconciling your own internal phobias? We got you, fam. Hey, Alexa, play Real Radio 104.1 on iHeartRadio.
The on-ramp from the Beach Line to John Young Parkway northbound is closed due to an accident. Kirkman Road is closed due to an accident heading northbound between Metro West Boulevard and Raleigh Street. You can expect delays due to an accident on State Road 50 Colonial Drive heading westbound at John Young Parkway. The left lane is blocked. And the left lane is blocked due to an accident on the Beach Line heading eastbound at State Road 520. See traffic troubles? Call the SafeTouchSecurity.com traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, save $60 when you buy a DeWalt impact driver or drill for just $99 each. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/2.
Man, let me tell you something. If you love the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex like we do, they have a deal for you coming up here. It is unbelievable. This place is a top 10 TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice winner year after year. The only place you can experience the excitement of thundering rocket launches right up close and see those spacecraft that are blazing the trail for tomorrow's discoveries. And it is an amazing spot. We have broadcast over there a number of times. We love it. They're part of our partnership, and it's just one of those places you got to go to experience. Lots of hands-on stuff to do. And if you're like me, I'm a tinkerer. I was as a kid. I like touching things. I like kind of feeling and seeing how it works. And they show you all that stuff from a number of spacecraft. And the Atlantis display is amazing as well. Be sure to take advantage of this new 2-day ticket offer costing less than $45 per day and offering maximum flexibility for the entire family. It's the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Get your tickets and learn more at KennedySpaceCenter.com.
Divorce? Call Trinley and Kramer. TK Law. OneFirmForLife.com.
Get your tickets now
at AXS.com
for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Introducing Audible's new original series, Breakthrough, the first of its kind audio-only singing competition featuring celebrity judges Kelly Rowland and Sarah Bareilles with host Daveed Diggs. Hear who has what it takes. Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you own a business with at least 5 employees and were operational during COVID, then you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund up to $26,000 per employee. This is not a loan, and you do not need to pay this back. Visit governmentaid.com today. Their team of ERC experts will navigate this complex process and file on your behalf. They've helped tens of thousands of businesses obtain billions. Act today. Visit governmentaid.com to see if your business qualifies.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Rent is due and money is tight. You could A, pay a huge late fee, or B, get an Amscot cash advance and avoid it. Amscot, up to $500 fast. No credit check. Some restrictions apply, subject to approval. Amscot.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Some good news. Dunkin' just dropped a new menu item, and it's epic. Try new extra charged Dunkin' refreshers with 50% more caffeine. Yes, 50% more caffeine. Basically, an energy-packed refresh button in a cup. Available on all your favorite Dunkin' refresher flavors like strawberry dragon fruit, raspberry watermelon, and mango pineapple. Try new extra charged Dunkin' refreshers today. Available for a limited time, so run, don't walk. America runs on Dunkin'. Drinks are fruit flavored, contain 0 to 1% fruit juice. Price and participation may vary.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Here's what real Fence Outlet customers say about their experience. Brian said,
"Our family purchased our forever home a year and a half ago. After the closing date, we listed several things we desired to upgrade to make this house a home. One was the old, dilapidated wooden fence that was enclosing our backyard. We asked around for fence companies in our area. Fence Outlet was recommended more than any other. We sought out a quote online, received the blessing of Stephanie, got approved for financing, received the spectacular, clean look we were after in our brand new vinyl fence. Thank you, Fence Outlet. Our family will gladly recommend you to all."
See for yourself. Go to fenceoutlet.com to schedule your free estimate today.
If you ride a motorcycle in Florida, someone can hit you and hurt you and legally not have insurance to pay you. Uninsured motorist coverage can help save you from financial ruin. Injured on the go? Just call Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Applebee's daily deals for $9.99 and under. There's a deal every day for everyone. Just $9.99 and under. That's all day, every day. Get into your local Applebee's now. Daily deals are dine-in only and limited locations listed on nrpneighborhood.com. Limited time only while supplies last. Participation varies.
If you've been injured in a car accident, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan.
Obviously, this is why YouTube was created. Obviously, at Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Well, I made about every possible mistake in that Kennedy Space Center spot. So, no, they don't have space crap for you to look at. They have space craft for you to look at.
Hey, you just got that one out of the way, Jimmy.
God
That's
almighty. Good Lord of mercy.
Is it still a good place for tinkerers?
Oh, my God. It's still a great place for tinkerers. God.
And they have a lot of cool space
30 years, I can't get it right. 30 years, cannot get it right.
I had a buddy who just went. Dave Curry, you know Dave Curry.
Yeah. Great Dave Curry.
Great guitar player, lives over, beachside. But I went with him years ago, and he couldn't wait to go back, and he just went this past weekend with his daughter.
Oh, man, look, if you haven't even gone in the last 5 years, it's completely different. They add something, like seemingly every couple of years, they add something very cool. So, again, it's
Gateway to Space, so they added most recently.
KennedySpaceCenter.com if you want to check that out. Welcome back. I am Jim. Jack and Ross right over there. Let's get a check of the news. Here is Deb.
And now, it's time for Woke News. It seems like kind of a misuse of the whole woke on the Jim Colbert Show.
All right, you know it, I know it, say it with me. Woke News brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don. A U.S. soldier is in North Korean custody after an unauthorized border crossing. Have to say this story has been confusing me since the moment I first saw the push notification. CBS News reports the unnamed individual was being escorted back to the U.S. for disciplinary reasons.
Spanking.
And somehow managed to slip through security. Witnesses say the unidentified soldier suddenly bolted across the border after joining a group taking a guided tour of the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. He's not been publicly identified, and officials say they're working to resolve the situation.
He ran to them. He ran into North Korea.
Yes, he did.
He wanted to do it.
Now, who
is
thinks
it cool to say keep him?
Yeah, I was just going to say, how many of us really want him back?
We don't know what he knows.
Well, yeah, that's a good
get him
point.
back. You know what he knows.
That's a very good. That's the first thing I thought. Why would you run there? Why did you run there, and what do you have on your person?
It could have been a mental breakdown.
It could have.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a real life action movie, though.
Yeah.
I know.
This is very Tom Cruise-ish.
Somebody has to go get him.
Yeah.
Former President Trump could soon be facing another federal indictment. Today, Trump revealed he received a letter telling him he's a target in the special counsel investigation into the 2021 Capitol riot. In a post, Trump said the Justice Department offered him a chance to appear before the grand jury, which is set to meet in Washington, D.C. later this week. The target letter suggests Trump may soon face an indictment for his efforts to stay in power after losing the 2020 election. The DOJ has already charged Trump for his alleged mishandling of classified documents after leaving the White House. Trump was also indicted in New York State for alleged hush money payments involving his alleged affair with a porn actress. We're going to start to need a bulletin board.
Oh, you don't know, because I think within a month they think that Georgia's about to throw one down on him too.
Keep track of all this stuff.
You're gonna need a Rolodex.
Stop picking on him.
The investigation into the Gilgo Beach murders in New York continues as officials build their case against the suspected serial killer Rex Hauerman. The search for answers is expanding to South Carolina.
Is a Netflix documentary out on this case
No, it will
yet?
be by the end of this day.
No, actually, I do have one, but it was filmed before this arrest, but it will give you the backup behind the story of the victims.
Wow.
Where South Carolina, where FBI agents said they recovered Heuerman's older Chevy Avalanche truck, which could be a potential key evidence in the case. Evidence teams have been back into Heuerman's Massapequa Park home. Officers have also been searching storage units in Amityville, about 2 miles away, taking away boxes to see if there's anything connected to the victims. They're specifically looking for what's known as trophies.
Yeah. Stuff he would keep from the victims to be able to relive the crimes, because that's what these guys do. It's fascinating because the profiler, when these crimes started in 2011, the profiler said he would be a professional. His office would be, or his area would be very clean, but his house
he'd be a family man.
He'd be a family man. He would be educated. He'd have a good job. He'd probably be respected at his workplace. And they even called the fact that his house would be dilapidated. They called the fact.
Did they really? I didn't read that part.
They called the fact that his living quarters would be kept differently than his work area. And sure enough, when they go to his house, this guy's an architect.
And his house is being held up by 2x4s.
In the front porch of his house has like makeshift 2x4 stanchions to hold it up.
You'd have no idea. His neighbors used to say it was such a juxtaposition to see him walking out of his house in a suit and tie with his briefcase, getting ready to go to his Manhattan architectural office, while his house literally is a dilapidated piece of junk that's falling down around him. And he has a wife and 2 children, including a special needs son.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the psychological reasons are for that juxtaposition of lifestyle.
Well, it's what you show people. This is the wolf in sheep's clothing aspect of these people. At work, he wants to give off no indication that he has these issues, but at home he doesn't matter because all he thinks about is himself. And these people usually dominate their families to the point of terrifying them, to the point where they won't say anything, or they'll marry or be with people who they can just dominate.
I mean,
all right, Netflix, I'll probably watch your stupid documentary.
Yeah, he had 200 plus guns found in like a secret room in his basement. And again, they're going all over Amityville.
Oh, I know that guy.
You know, all over New York just to see where he's kept. Yeah, I thought it was like, of all places to have a storage unit.
I mean, it's just, if someone were to tell me that, like, hey, I have 200 guns, I'd be like, all right, so you collect guns. But if you tell me that you're a killer and you have 200 guns, I'm like, bro, that's just stupid. You can't shoot that many guns.
You can't.
How are you going to put your little guns in your little pinky toes and whatnot?
Yeah, so a very fascinating case. So back here closer to home, actually it's all over the country, but smoke from Canadian wildfires is back, and it's reached as far south as right here in the Sunshine State. It's something like 600 to 800 fires currently burning uncontrolled in Canada right now. The National Weather Service in Jacksonville says the smoke is creating hazy skies across the northeast part of the state. The smoke isn't causing any air quality concerns, which is good news if you know or you are someone who suffers from asthma, but there could be some visibility restrictions. Forecasters say the hazy skies will linger across our region through tonight.
Yep.
All right, another theory. Hear me out here. Maybe, just maybe, this is all of Canada's military. And they're just really, they're a nice country. And this is
their defense system.
This is their biggest punch.
Okay.
Seminole County residents are being warned about a sewage leak. Altamont Springs officials say an unknown amount of sewage leaked into Lake Orienta yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Liquid sewage apparently leaked from a manhole into a stormwater inlet and then into the lake. Thankfully, this doesn't affect drinking water, but the lake is closed for recreational use until further notice. And if you know anyone who maybe goes fishing there, I would avoid it for the next several days.
It's a very, very residential lake.
Yes, it is.
It's like right off of I-4 and 436. It's back in that neighborhood there. I knew some friends that had condos on that lake, and we'd go skiing there occasionally or wakeboarding, and you don't want to,
You're going to be in the boo-boo water.
And as I get. And it already had this weird greenish tint to it already. So
there you go. State-backed Citizens Property Insurance is waiting to hear if its request for a double-digit rate increase will be granted. The chairman of the state Senate's Banking and Insurance Committee, Republican Jim Boyd of Bradenton, says that argument is well-founded. The company is asking the Office of Insurance Regulation for about a 13% hike. Citizens, again, is now on target to write more than 1.7 million policies by the end of the year, far surpassing what lawmakers had established Citizens to be able to do. In the meantime, although some state lawmakers are calling for another special session to deal with the departure of farmers from Florida's property insurance market, the chairman of the Senate's Banking and Insurance Committee says that's not going to happen. Republican Jim Boyd of Bradenton says, listen, the reforms put into place will eventually take this to the bank, folks. This is going to make you feel so much better. They're eventually going to make a difference.
Okay, very good.
In fact, Boyd says farmers leaving at a point when it's one of the best times to be writing policies here in Florida because, in his words, the playing field has now been leveled and some companies may
a lot of question marks
return to the state.
Oh, that's nice.
Doesn't that make you feel better?
I think that's a fine plan.
That's a warm and fuzzy message right there.
It was a whole it sounds like a little kid line.
It does, doesn't it? Like a procrastinator's dream. All right, the state health department is confirming a 7th case of malaria reported in Sarasota County from an outbreak that began in May. Officials say the patient is a homeless person living in the affected area in North Sarasota County. Mosquito Management Director Wade Brennan says they're returning to that area to spray for larvae in the air and adult mosquitoes from the ground. Brennan says they're also handing out netting and repellent to the homeless population so that they can try and protect themselves as best they can.
Have you ever seen that video of they put some netting up and then put an arm, like a human arm, like an inch away from it, and the mosquitoes tried to start shoving their stingers through the netting to get to the arm? It's so creepy.
Isn't it creepy?
Oh man, it's so creepy.
And they suck blood. Vampires, man.
Yeah, no joke.
All right, the Orange County School District is expected to discuss a potential cell phone ban for students today. They're talking about the proposed policy would prohibit students, from using communication devices during school hours unless it's approved by a teacher. Now, that would include during lunchtime and recess.
Yep, they shouldn't even have them there.
Let's go.
I
shouldn't
agree.
have them there. This should have happened years ago.
The school board began...
I like this so much, I'm going to have more kids.
Yeah. I will not. You can have mine.
You heard the lack of... I mean, he couldn't even... The school board began a rule development workshop earlier this morning to talk about possible changes to the student code of conduct. Now, if the cell phone plan advances, it would go before the full school board in early August. I'm sure a lot of parents are like you guys, get their mind back on their studies, get their phone and the social media out of their hands. And the thing I like is that even during lunch and recess,
stop texting me to pick you up and call you out.
Get out there and play.
Right.
Kick a ball. Cut some grass.
Do anything else.
Anything else.
And watch me laugh as you try to scroll a book.
Which I've done so many times.
A recent
Stop
arrest.
interrupting. I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
A recent arrest could serve as a warning to cell phone users. And I believe it was our good friend Blogging Molly that this happened to, didn't it? Or was it her sister?
Sister.
Okay, it was her sister, because Tampa police say they're finding cases again where suspects are asking to borrow a stranger's cell phone, right? Think of a 13-year-old kid runs up to you on a sidewalk and says, I can't find my brother and he's supposed to pick me up. Can I please use your phone to call him? You think, oh my God, I don't want this kid here stuck alone. I'm standing right here. Let me just hand him my phone. Yeah, well, then they use it to steal money through Cash App.
Yeah.
In an incident last month, a victim lost over $2,400. And if you remember the story,
I would kick a 13-year-old in his face.
But literally had the phone less than 15 seconds and never turned away. Never turned away. His body language always kept it in front. She still to this day cannot figure out how he was able to get money from her phone so quickly when she was standing right there. And that's just like this case in Tampa. The suspect in this case is connected to at least 3 others in which he allegedly stole up to...
Oh, man, 10 grand.
How about $50,000?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'd kick him a whole
$50,000.
bunch. I'd kick him right into traffic.
A TPD detective tells ABC Action News over on the Gulf Coast, if someone asks to borrow your phone, even if they're a little kid and you feel bad, say no.
Just ask for the number. Hey, if you want me to call somebody, just give me the number and I'll call them for you.
There you go. Or tell them to go to a convenience store or flag down a police officer instead. But even though you're standing right there, don't hand them your phone.
That's like the 4th reason why I wouldn't give somebody my phone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I don't hand them to my own kids.
All right. This is also a big case. We always hear about Facebook Marketplace. That's why they always recommend if you're going to be doing any kind of transaction on the internet, go meet in the parking lot of your sheriff's office or something.
Yeah, they have those designated areas for trade like that.
Because Orange County police are investigating a string of robberies connected to advertisements posted on social media. It's believed the robberies are related to people trying to sell dirt bikes, 4-wheel vehicles, or video game consoles. You know, cheap stuff.
Yeah.
On Facebook Marketplace, the Orlando Police Department hasn't said how many cases officials are looking into, but they say there could be more victims. Authorities are asking anyone who was robbed during a Facebook Marketplace transaction in the first week of June to contact Orlando PD.
This happened to our buddy Tom Van back in the day, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it was a Facebook thing back in the day, but he had somebody like answer an ad and I think try to take his bike or stole his bike or something. Like basically would call, ask about the bike, and then just find out, what kind of bike it was, where it was, type thing. Show up, look at it, and go, I don't know, man, and then come back.
See, you got that's why it's better to do the transactions where it's crawling with officers. So much to this point, the state of Florida is cracking down on cybercrime. State Attorney General Ashley Moody was in Tampa earlier today to unveil the first ever statewide cyber fraud enforcement unit. She says more than 40,000 residents in the state lost more than how much money do you think these kinds of cases just last year cost 40,000 residents in Florida? How much money?
Well, 40,000, you figure if it's times 1, it was 400. I'll go $6.5 million.
$6.5 million.
Beast guess. I'm going 4.2.
Oh, you guys are cute.
Oh, wow, really?
Well,
10 million.
How about $800 million?
Yeah,
From 40,000 residents in the state
Should
of
I get
Florida.
a gong for that?
No, you should
No?
not.
Okay, just
no, you
checking.
should not.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's why it's the first ever because, I mean, it's so rampant.
Yeah.
The unit formed by the FDLE has specially trained prosecutors and civil attorneys to combat the issue. It was created back in May and has already taken down several suspects. Because, the cybercrime thing as well, it reaches internationally.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, you've got crimes taking place right here in the state, across state lines, across the border. All right, speaking of money, it's not the big jackpot, but someone who bought a Powerball ticket here in Florida can claim a second-tier prize.
Ooh.
The ticket sold in Tampa matched 5 of the 6 numbers.
I couldn't even check it, Deb, before you reveal that information.
I'm up against the clock, Jack.
You blew out his hope.
Thank you.
Just
keep it at hope.
You kicked his hope into traffic.
I thought I had like another 60 seconds to dream.
No.
Sorry. That's what she said.
Yeah, she basically says, and the winner's not Jack
Right.
Bradshaw.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Well, the ticket sold in Tampa, sorry, Jack, matched 5 of the 6 numbers from last night's drawing to win a cool $1 million. The jackpot now stands at an estimated $1 billion for tomorrow night's Powerball drawing. The 3rd largest jackpot in Powerball history, the 7th largest in U.S. history. Meanwhile, an estimated paltry $640 million is up for grabs in tonight's Mega Millions drawing. No one has won that jackpot in the multi-state lottery since April. Winning numbers will be drawn at 11 p.m.
I've got a ticket for that.
Oh, do you? I got to get them on the way home. Does it
Go.
make you mad when the Powerball numbers are red and there's a winner, but it's not in Florida? It's like in California
Yeah.
or Oregon
I
or
take
something
it
like that. I get
personal.
so pissed off.
Yeah.
Like if there's a winner, I want somebody in Florida to win it. Hopefully somebody I know.
But as soon as they pinpoint a city that I know I have not been to,
right?
Yeah.
A la Tampa,
All right.
then it's like,
Damn. Well, you guys, we may not have been lucky enough to win the lottery, but this last story here, this guy was pretty lucky. An Australian man and his dog. Did you guys hear about this story, Jack and Ross?
One of the first ones I read this morning is unbelievable.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So an Australian man and his dog are safe after spending a grueling 3 months adrift at sea. Timothy Shattuck and his canine Bella were rescued from the Pacific over the weekend by a Mexican tuna boat that happened to be also being followed by a helicopter. Shattuck said they were able to survive on rainwater and raw fish after a storm severely damaged his vessel and the electronics on his catamaran en route to French Polynesia. He left Mexico on his way to French Polynesia, ran into a storm, knocked out all of his electronics, and they've just been adrift ever since.
wow.
2 weeks into the voyage.
What's so funny, Hotshot?
That's insane.
2 weeks into the voyage, they lost all electronics on their catamaran and had been floating in the Pacific off the coast of Mexico for 3 months.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean,
it is, because you don't think in this day and age with satellites and everything that could be missed.
the balls to set off in a boat and sail across an ocean alone with your dog.
Oh, that happens all the time.
I know, but the balls it takes to even consider that and knowing it's in the summer, man. I mean, I don't know what the...
My cousin's currently on a yacht sailing it down to San Andres as we speak.
God almighty.
But he's probably with other people, right?
He's got 2 other sailors on board, but
yeah, I mean, this is a dog. I wonder if the dog knew what was up.
Oh, the dog. I bet the dog kept his distance there for a while.
It was funny, though, because looking at the guy, he looks like Tom Hanks's character out of Castaway, but the dog still has a lot of weight on her. She still looks pretty good. So because I was worried about that. They're on a catamaran, so it's not like they have that below deck where they can get away from that powerful sun. Just all of it.
In 3 months of eating only raw fish, I've heard of people who get stranded at sea like that, and they'll catch fish, and they don't even want to eat the fish. They need the iodine and other things so they'll just eat the eyes or eat just the liver of it because they need their body will tell them to crave those things that they can't even eat the fish itself anymore, and there's no fat in it.
Right.
And your body needs fat, you know?
This guy said that after a very harrowing ordeal, he just wants some good food and a good night of sleep.
I bet.
And he was grateful for the dog because think of Castaway, right?
And if he couldn't catch any more fish,
That's right.
Another food source.
That's right.
Oh, Bella.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's keeping her distance after about 2.5 weeks, 2.5 months. She's like, yeah, buddy, I'll come to you in a minute. I'm going to be on this end of the catamaran just chilling. Your eyes look weird.
Like in a cartoon, looking
Yeah.
like a giant turkey leg.
Yeah, exactly, with the steam coming off the top.
Do we know if there was an actual other passenger in the beginning?
We don't.
That's a good point.
You're over here telling me that this dog gained weight.
Good point, Ross. Good point. Well, regardless, now you all are officially woke.
Thanks, Deb. 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Back in just 1 second with more of the Jim Colbert Show.
We may have lost our blue check, but we're still here doing
whatever it is you do on Twitter.
At Real Radio 1041 on Twitter is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
This weather report is brought to you by Mills Air.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Allison Gargaro with a look at your Central Florida forecast. Hot highs today through the Orlando metro in the low 90s with feels-like temperatures soaring to the triple digits. It's going to be muggy, sun and clouds to start, and then a rise in shower and thunderstorm activity, mainly after 2-3 o'clock. Coverage will be at 70%. You can expect the potential for heavy rain at times, which could lead to localized flooding as well as frequent lightning. I'm Storm Team meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Boost your imagination with Audible. Listen to the biggest selection of audio entertainment, from celeb memoirs to motivation and more. Audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. There's more to imagine when we listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Hey everybody, Jim Colbert here for my friends over at the Filatowski Eye Institute. Everybody knows your eyes are the window into your world. That's why I would never in a million years consider a discount surgery center for LASIK vision correction. Nope, not a chance. I recommended my son and my father-in-law to the Filatowski Eye Institute. These guys are a recognized leader in vision correction surgery here in Central Florida. I trust them implicitly, and it shows because these guys now have perfect vision. Like, literally overnight, their lives changed. That's exactly what Dr. Filatowski and his team do every single day. They've done 65,000 of these surgeries in Central Florida for the last 30 years, and they can take care of you as well. They have the latest state-of-the-art LASIK tech out there, fast recovery times, most people back to work the very next day. Start seeing the way you were meant to. No more glasses, no more contacts, no more fuzzy vision. Contact the Filatowski Eye Institute today and get that consultation. Find out what they can do for you. It's easy, too. Just text 1041 to 868686 and schedule your consultation today. They even have 24-month interest-free financing to qualified patients. Again, just text 1041 to 868686. It's the Filatowski Eye Institute. These guys are the smart choice and the only choice for LASIK vision correction.
My fellow Americans, RC Hill here from RC Hill Mitsubishi. I think it's high time we celebrate and break free from your old ride and declare your independence in a nicer, newer car for just $7 down. Have you been feeling put down? Then it's time to let freedom ride. So keep your cash and drive a new 23 Outlander for just $7 down. So kick your old ride to the curb and let freedom ride for just $7 down. But hurry, this celebration ends soon. I'm RC Hill, your car dealer next door. Get free at rchill.com.
With the Autio app riding shotgun, every road trip is an adventure.
Autio is my traveling companion. It's educational, entertaining, funny. It makes the drive come to life.
The Autio app automatically plays you stories about the natural wonders, local legends, and fascinating histories outside your car window, with over 10,000 unique stories from coast to coast.
I've learned more about my hometown from the Autio app than I did growing up here.
Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
That's right. It's a real mess out there, Kate. We're seeing heavy congestion on the eastbound lanes of the main expressway with traffic backed up for miles.
What do traffic and debt have in common? You don't want to be in either for too long. Move into the fast lane with Fairwinds Credit Union. We'll help you set goals, save more, and be your guide to achieving financial freedom together. Visit fairwinds.org/together and become a member today. Fairwinds. Financial freedom happens here. Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome to the Unlit Life. It's this place where you feel free, like enjoying a low-key get-together with friends instead of a wild night on the town style of free. When you can enjoy a moment with Blue Vapor just because. You know, the everyday doesn't have to feel so everyday. With Blue e-cigs, you can get stuff done and still have fun. And when we let ourselves get unlit, we start really living. Blue. Get unlit. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale prohibited. Blue is a trademark of Font Molding 4BV. Copyright 2022. Fontum US LLC.
Storm season is here, and Duke Energy is ready. With innovative technology and new ways to reroute power to help prevent outages in all kinds of weather. We're strengthening our systems ready to restore power quickly and safely, while keeping you informed about outages with text and email alerts. It's all part of building a smarter energy future for you. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
Hear the latest news from the headlines on your phone. Download the free iHeartRadio app for exclusive live coverage of breaking news. From what's happening where you live to what's happening across the country. Live from the center of the story. Listen for free anywhere, anytime. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Fifth Third Bank, we give you free checking, never have hidden fees, and help protect your identity.
Wow, really?
Yep. See, our name equals 166.7%. So we put in that much effort.
Well, my name's Jim, so I guess I'm headed to the gym, and I'm gonna put in 166.7% effort too.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
No one's ever been proud of me.
This is banking a Fifth Third better. Fifth Third Bank, National Association member FDIC.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
If you don't know what web goals are, consider yourself lucky. If you feel like helping out, go to JimColbertLive.com and look at stuff. Ho up.
Fade it. Fade it.
Welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1. Thanks so much for tuning in today on this beautiful Tuesday. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I am Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. We'll have another keyword for you at the top of the hour. The one that's out now is Bank, B-A-N-K. You only have a few minutes, though, to grab that one. We'll have a freshie for you at the top of the hour. Plus, we'll do What'd You Do That's New next hour. You see, in the well, I got to tell you, the wildlife is having themselves a great time out there at Yellowstone National Park. Have you guys heard the latest?
No.
No, we got baby bears, we got cubs.
Not baby bears, not cubs or anything. Yet again, another person does the stupidest thing. Can I tell you what? If you just saw a random dog out and around, just out in your neighborhood, a random dog, not even, let's say a 40-pound dog, a dog you do not know, would you approach that dog?
No.
In any way, for any reason, would you approach that dog? How about a kitty cat? Would you approach a kitty cat that you didn't know or you weren't familiar with?
Yeah.
You would?
Well, I had one pass by my way yesterday.
I walked by a cat recently.
Yeah.
Twice.
I would not try to interact with any animal that I did not have a relationship with or did not know me. In Phoenix, or the woman out of Phoenix, Arizona, 47 years old, walks right up to, guess what? A bison, a 2,000-pound animal with death horns. And as she's walking away, gets too close to it because they recommend a certain amount of space you're supposed to get to it. And as she's walking away from it, it says, "Nah, we're not done playing." And gores her from the back and to the front. Now, she survived, but she is in critical condition.
Ooh.
But, they tell you, I don't understand that. It's not like there's no literature out there. I mean, it's posted everywhere. People approaching wolves and bison and... It's genuinely amazing to me that is still an issue out there with all the warnings.
It's the extension of social media and technology with the camera in our phone. It's a great look at me moment. You want to capture yourself doing cool stuff that you can share to show everyone else how interesting you are.
I mean, think of the woman, I think it was a woman last week, who dipped her hands or her feet into one of the thermal pools at Yellowstone. It's like,
must have felt
like
great.
150 degrees or something.
it's like, and then what? It's supposed to feel bad for you when you get third-degree burns?
Yeah, I do not feel bad for you at all.
I mean, that's Darwinism at its height.
I can't believe I'm going to even semi-defend this.
Okay, you should defend it then. Go ahead, please.
Let's go, hotshot.
But the question isn't if you see a 40-pound dog, would you go up and pet it? Everyone would go, no. The question is, what would happen if there was a 40-pound dog and a bunch of people were around it, staring at it, getting close to it, sometimes even petting it?
Mm-hmm.
That is, and now all of a sudden, because that's what Yellowstone is like. I was there, weird flex, 12, 13 years ago, almost to the day, because I saw a grizzly bear on my 23rd birthday, and I'll never forget it. That's the vibe out in Yellowstone. Cars are always pulling off to the side to honestly interact or take photos of the wildlife.
We were at when we were in Denver. There is a oh my God, Colorado is a Rocky Mountain State Park, I believe what it's called, and there's caribou out there, right? And Code Black, our buddy Code Black, that's where he's from. So he would drive us when we go visit. He would drive us around all the cool spots, and he goes, "We got to go up to Rocky Mountain National Park or whatever it is, and we have to go up there and you have to see the caribou, right?" And we're driving up there, and just like Ross said, there's people pulled off the side of the road, and they're trying to find them. Have you ever seen or stand next to a caribou? Imagine a deer on all the steroids. Again, built with a weapon on top of its head that it knows how to use quite well. These things are gigantic. They're 800-900 pound, 1,200 pound deer, and they're uncool. They are literally close to a moose, and these people are like careless about it. They don't even care. Like
they think everything is Walt Disney World and everything is like Thumper.
We would go up to Maine, and our buddy Joe Cruzy, who owns the Lake Parlin Lodge up there, we'd love to go up there. We went up there snowmobiling, went up there for the summer. It's a magical place, and I think Maine is one of the most cool states to visit. It's inexpensive to get up there. Tons of fun stuff to do. We went up to the lodge, and he tried to take us out to find a moose, right? And we're in this field, we're looking across this field, and he's doing the whole call and the whole thing, right? Trying to get one to roll through there. But the field is littered. And I mean, they're 2 feet apart of these little maple trees. They're about maybe, 2, 3 inches, 4 inches around, but they're, 10, 20 feet high. And I said, well, it wouldn't matter if you called him anyway. He'd never be able to get through that little stand of trees there. And he started laughing at me openly. He said, I've seen a moose roll through a field like that and mow those trees down with his horns, with his rack, like it was grass. He goes, you genuinely do not understand how big these things are until you get up there and get near one.
Which is why they're so deadly in a car wreck, because your car hits their legs, but the body comes through the windshield.
Exactly, and that's why all the pickup trucks and all the tractor trailers up there have these gigantic welded-on covers into the front of their vehicles, because they come out on the roads all the time. Like Deb said, they weigh as much as your damn car.
Yeah.
And you hit one of those things, it'll take your whole family out.
It will, because they're so tall.
They're massive, dude. They're gigantic, bigger than horses, some of them.
And then to circle it back to the woman who got gored, you just said it yourself. You don't understand the size of it until you're near one of them.
Right. You got to get close to it.
And that's, honestly, when I was out in Yellowstone, I kind of picked up on that vibe. I never left my car. I was in the minority.
Right.
Everyone's getting out of their car.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting close to the wildlife. And it's kind of like the vibe from the Rangers of like, listen, we can't tell you what to do, but this can happen. Enjoy your time here, but this is the wildlife.
Yeah, and they're in rut right now. So, we hear about, what rut is?
Just
mating season. Right? So rut for bison is like now through the middle or end of August. So in other words, they're horny and mad. They want to get loose. This is their time of year.
To
do their thing.
Their spring break, man.
So anything that gets near, if you ain't one of them, you're going to get tossed. There's a woman that they were talking in the story. A woman from Ohio was in there last year and rolled up on a bison, and it did the favor of throwing her about 20 feet in the air. And it was a flick. It wasn't even trying to hurt her. Just a little flick of the head, 20 feet in the air.
I think
you're 130 pounds to that thing. It is literally 2,000 pounds of nothing but muscle and mad.
I think it's worth noting is that, I see all these people interacting with all these bison and all these massive animals. When I saw the grizzly bear, no one was out of their car.
Yeah. That thing is they run like 30 miles an hour and it's a death machine.
It was breathtaking. It was just taking these slow, lumbering steps, and it just was like, yeah, that's a king around here.
Yeah. There's nothing in the world like watching like a female grizzly walk through, walk a stream and has 2 cubs, and how the cubs are like real kind of worrying about what's around them. I'm like, you ain't got to worry nothing.
Right, exactly.
You're fine, buddy. All right, 407-916-1041. Back with What'd You Do That's Not next.
Oh.
Your shot at $1,000 is next. Brought to you locally by Mills Air. If you want a shot at $5,000, make sure you're listening to us on our free iHeartRadio app.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Looking at your normal afternoon delays on I-4 in the Orlando area as you travel east and westbound by the major attractions exits. Still seeing some moderate delays downtown if you're traveling between Anderson and Robinson Street. No problems at this time north or southbound on Florida's Turnpike. If you see traffic problems, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 Deal. Wendy's BOGO $1 Deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
Let's get you a new bathroom courtesy of Rebath in Mid-Florida. These guys are awesome up in Altamont Springs. Their showroom is so easy to find. 436 right there in Altamont across from Kobe. You can't miss them when you walk in. You're going to see a bunch of choices. Don't get overwhelmed. Those aren't the bathrooms you're looking at. Those are just models to show you what the products they have look like. In other words, they can showcase some of their tile. They can showcase some of their fixtures. They can showcase some lighting, some different tub and sink styles. That's what they're doing for you. You work with these guys in their design team to come up with ideas that are fresh. Every bathroom from Rebath is a custom bathroom, and they have incredible products. And, you know, all those stores are the shows that you watch on television and the magazines you read. You flip through there, you're like, man, that bathroom is gorgeous. I would love that. Well, you can have that, because that's what they do. They can mimic every one of those designs and create something special for you. I tell the story of my buddy Daryl Payne from Paw Affection Dog Training. He got 2 bathrooms from these guys, and when he shows you the picture, the smile on his face, he's so proud of how good his house looks now, and that can happen for you as well. Just log on the website, look at those before and afters, and then book your appointment, because your new bathroom is waiting for you right now at rebathmidfla.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to realradio.fm/rules.
Here's what Fence Outlet customers have to say about their experience.
The Fence Outlet team is knowledgeable and professional. They have fair prices and they take care of the permits. I'm very happy with my Fence Outlet fence.
Check them out for yourself at fenceoutlet.com. License number C10252 and C10803.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Orlando, for a no-cost consultation at 407-603-3962. That's 407-603-3962. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
You know International Diamond Center is the best place to buy diamonds and fine jewelry. But did you also know IDC will buy from you? Diamonds, heirloom jewelry, estate jewelry, Swiss watches, coins.
Don't be afraid to come in and get a price on something that maybe it's an heirloom that you want to sell, or you're just checking to see the price.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire has a vast network of collectors and buyers around the world, so IDC can always find a market for your jewelry.
We always pay a very strong price to buy. There's a resale market that's there, and we pay top dollar for top merchandise. We have people all over the world that we sell to. So some collectors are going to pay way more than any consumer's going to pay. We'll give you the best possible price, no games played, and you'll get the check or the cash, whatever one you want.
Let IDC appraise what's in your jewelry box. You might get a pleasant surprise.
Sometimes they come in, they have no idea what's there, and then all of a sudden they walk out with a $28,000 check.
International Diamond Center. Online at shopidc.com.
It's the perfect time to switch to My Plan from Verizon and save. Visit a Verizon store and get iPhone 13 with great features like long battery life on us when you switch to any 5G unlimited plan. No trade-in required. Plus, get $50 off the latest AirPods Pro. This deal won't last forever, so get to your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $699.99, 128 gigabyte only device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited welcome or postpaid unlimited plus plan required. Less $699.99 promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. $50 off AirPods Pro with iPhone purchase required. Additional terms apply.
Do you
have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday."
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you own a business with at least 5 employees and were operational during COVID, then you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund up to $26,000 per employee. This is not a loan, and you do not need to pay this back. Visit governmentaid.com today. Their team of ERC experts will navigate this complex process and file on your behalf. They've helped tens of thousands of businesses obtain billions. Act today. Visit governmentaid.com to see if your business qualifies.
Running a small business takes grit and determination and a communications provider that's got your back. That's Spectrum Business. Fast, reliable communication solutions that keep your business going. Get 300 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month when bundled with Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one phone system that lets you work from anywhere on any device. And get a free mobile line for a year. Visit spectrum.com/go faster. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Best price the first time. OrangeBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade. Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because your case matters. Contact them at whenyounitus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, PAY. P-A-Y. Pay. Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
There's only one place to watch this nonsense. At Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
Hey guys, another great show starting out. Let Deborah know that ocean-going catamarans have cabins. It's not like a day sailing cat you see at the beach. So they're pretty luxurious if you look at them online. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, buddy.
Surf
Appreciate
Pop
that.
Out.
All right. 407-916-1041. Text us 77031.
I was just thinking of my uncle's catamarans, who were not that luxurious.
Yeah, pay is your 4 o'clock keyword, P-A-Y. Go to realradio.fm. Send that away. Maybe you can win that $1,000. Pay. That's it, guys. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. A little correction from my rant a few minutes ago. Caribou are not in the Colorado area. It's an elk. I got that wrong. Caribou, also known as a reindeer. But they do get the same size. Like the elk that we're talking about, the Rocky Mountain elk, are the second biggest, I think, deer family next to moose and these others. They get up to 1,000 pounds, 1,096 pounds for the bulls. And they said here that if they're out in the wild, their biggest issue is wolves, bears, and mountain lions, things of that nature. But it also says bears will almost always exclusively go after young calves. They won't go after the deer. You know why? Because the deer will kill the bear.
Really?
Yeah. The ones that Yellowstone are just walking up to, they kill bear. A deer kills a bear. So they're walking up to it like, I need this for my talk, homie. And he just spears you real quick.
I'm sure that the rest of the family of the bear has got to be kind of embarrassed too.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Oh God.
All right. 407-916-1041. Let's do what you do that's new.
What you do that's new. What you do that's new.
Hey.
If we only knew something new to do, we're relying on you. Tell us something new brought to you by Clausman Law.
That's right, Clausman Law, KLAUSMAN Law.com. Offices right there in Winter Park, 407-917-1718. Car crash, call Clausman. We will not hear from Glenn today or this week or next week. He is on vacation, but we still absolutely adore him and his wonderful firm. And if you need him, don't call him right now because he is enjoying himself with his wife. What'd you do that's new? Every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we go around the room. One member of the show will choose something for the other members to watch, read, or listen to. We'll consume that and then come back and discuss it the next Tuesday and then move on to the next member. It is my turn this week, and we'll find out what Deborah has to offer here in just a few minutes. Unfortunately, I offered something that the guys couldn't watch because it was on Showtime. And oddly enough, here's where I get mixed up, right? And you can pop me all you want because I deserve it. I do get Showtime through Hulu. Like with my Hulu package, you can get Showtime, or not Cinemax, but Showtime and other like the movie channel and stuff like that.
They call it an add-on.
Yeah, my add-on for Hulu is Showtime. So when I'm watching it, I just saw the pop-up when you load Hulu on. It was one of those pop-ups. I didn't seek this out. It just happened to be in one of those, hey, you may like this thing. So I clicked on it, not really paying attention to where it was playing. So I just thought it was on Hulu. My apologies. So you guys didn't get to see it, but it's called JFK Revisited.
Another layer of interesting to that is you told us it was on Netflix.
Yeah, I did. So I got that wrong as well.
I mean,
it's a myriad of issues.
They all blur together.
They do.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just something.
Do they have different color schemes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't pay attention to any of it, man. I really don't. I'm telling you, and my wife, it drives my wife crazy as well. I don't pay attention to the minutia. I'm like, what's the show? What's it about? Yeah. Click on it. That's all I care about.
It's on Streamberry.
It's on Streamberry, right? I don't give a damn. But if you do get a chance to watch it, check it out. It is fascinating. I know the JFK thing is a real kind of hot button. It is the one conspiracy I really do believe it wasn't exactly like it was. I do not believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the only person involved in that, because everything that happened afterwards, Jack Ruby getting access to the garage to shoot him in the stomach, that's just where it starts. There are many, many, many questions and witnesses that were deposed. A lot of this stuff was left out of the Warren Commission report on purpose. It was literally purposely omitted, and they have people admitting that were on the Warren Commission that purposely omitted information from the public because, it was not good. And
it's amazing that when enough time passes, the amount of apathy that grows. Everything that you just said, if all of that news comes out the week of.
Yeah. Well, it's way different because, the thing is, if you look at what JFK was doing at the time, it was really pissing off the CIA. He wanted to pull everybody out of Vietnam. He wanted to do a bunch of stuff, and he created a lot of enemies in his short period in office. And Lyndon Johnson, one of them. I don't think they cared for each other at all. Matter of fact, I think they hated each other.
They did. They were not fans, but Kennedy needed Texas for his election, and that's why he made him the VP.
Absolutely. So, and you hear a lot of that background on the movers and shakers of the people that were around a lot of this was happening. Of course, I think Kennedy took shots at a couple world leaders at the time. We know for a fact that one of them was Fidel Castro, the Bay of Pigs scenario. Mm-hmm. There was a big rumor that there was a retaliation, that was retaliation of that move. And I'm telling you, man, if you watch the movie. And I am a pessimist when it comes to these things. I'm not one of the guys who buys in the conspiracy thing at all. It has to be overwhelming for me to even think about it. And this one is certainly worth checking out.
I was actually interested in looking forward to watching this, so very disappointed when I found out I couldn't afford it. However, I did go to YouTube because I wanted to see some things about it. So I watched the trailer for it, which was interesting. And then I caught a 15-minute clip of Joe Rogan interviewing Oliver Stone about this.
Right.
And so they isolated that topic. So I ended up watching that. And it's not as easy for Oliver Stone as much as he is to directing, just telling the story, I guess because it's so dense and he's been living this for 40, 50 years, however long.
Yeah, the movie was made 91.
Thinking about this, he just trying to tell a concise, consumable story was not his forte.
And what got me interested in this, and when I saw it, it just kind of clicked, is this Newsweek story that said Donald Trump told Roger Stone that, quote, he would not believe what's in the classified JFK files. Like, he would not believe it. He went on and on. Stone, of course, is one of the most unbelievable human beings that ever got put on planet Earth. Trump not far behind him. But he did say that he said, Kennedy said, the information is so horrible you wouldn't believe it regarding his assassination. Now, Trump is a bunch of things, but when it comes to stuff like this, much like the bragging about showing people secret papers and stuff, you get the feeling that even in the context of talking to Roger Stone, you're like, wow, man, that's something that Trump would be enamored with.
You can imagine him saying that.
Because he had that same thing with the UFO thing, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to declassify all that information. So you get the idea that, he's almost like a kid in a candy store going, oh, I get to know all the secrets now. I can't say them, of course, but did wind up telling Roger Stone, apparently, according to Newsweek, that he would not believe the information that the government had or the classified files on JFK's assassination would curl your toes.
Now, that said, and YouTube is, rife with different posts and videos about people supporting conspiracy theories, but also other people trying to debunk them, because I ended up watching a video specifically referring to the JFK movie Oliver Stone did in the early 90s, talking about the ability to use that rifle to fire those shots in that amount of time at that distance and hit a target.
Right, yeah. And so, and if you look where the wound is, now the guys are saying, well, the shot came from the front. And then also even the throat shot. And then, of course, the magic bullet. But really the most condemning thing to me, one of them is the photographs of Lee Harvey Oswald holding this gun. It just so happens he ordered this gun and is holding it. But the photographs don't match up. The stock where the strap goes to the stock is different on two of the pictures.
Yeah.
And even Oswald said he didn't ever remember taking the picture, and neither did his wife, because his wife lived through it. They were able to question her after the fact that she didn't even remember the photograph being taken, or remember the photograph being taken, but not that way or something. When you look at the pictures and they put them together, it's just amazing. It really is to me. And again, going in with a completely, hey, prove it to me, buddy, kind of attitude, I was definitely intrigued.
He talked a little bit about the autopsy, where it was, a room full of people telling the doctor what not to do.
Telling them what to say happen, what not to say happen.
Right.
The brain is missing. The brain went missing. They lost the president's brain.
Yeah.
Usually, our president's doing that by himself right now.
Right.
Come on, baby. Tip your service. Jack, I'm with you, though. Whatever you watch, any type of theory or conspiracy, I double dog dare anybody to then, whatever that title of that film was, then do it again with the word debunked.
Right,
Just to hear another narrative that is, clashing with what you just digested. And then you do that a couple of times, and then I feel a lot more comfortable when I reach a sum of my opinion when I do the debunk theory.
Buddy, when you watch this, you will be overwhelmed with information. And the thing is, it's not just information from people, it's information from people who were involved with the original investigation. It's like original depositions. Were you ever into this, Deb? Like the JFK thing? Do you believe that it was just one guy, or?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It's just a little bit more.
I've always thought that the government, and the older I get, the more I realize, the less I want to know.
Yeah, and the guy made a lot of enemies, but very interesting. If you want to check it out, it's called JFK Revisited. There's something else. I forget what it is after that, but it's basically JFK Revisited. And if you want to see it, you can do that.
Yeah, it's Through the Looking Glass.
There you go, Through the Looking Glass.
And it's on Showtime, which you can get through Paramount, Hulu, or just subscribe to Showtime directly.
Exactly. Deb, what do you have for us?
We're going to watch Lost Girls on Netflix.
Lost Girls?
Yeah.
So, are you sure it's on Netflix, Deb?
Yes, I am. Okay. So it's about the Gilgo Beach victims.
Oh, so this is the current murder case that's going on right now.
Well, they just caught the serial killer, or the alleged serial killer, but this movie is from 2020, only about a 74% out of Rotten Tomatoes, but as you can imagine, it's not a bright and cheery film.
Right.
But it's going to give you a backstory to the victims and how we think that this is like an ABC=D, right? Someone goes missing, you call the cops, they look, they find.
Yeah.
And this is one of those cases. Now, these girls plied their wares through Craigslist, but think of today's young men and women who are doing that through OnlyFans, who are doing that through sugar daddies and sugar mamas. It's all sexy and fun and easy money until you run into a guy like this, and then you see how it's handled by law enforcement, who really sees you as the refuse of humanity, and it keeps you from being discovered until an officer lets his dog out to take a crap, and then he ends up finding 4 murder victims.
Unbelievable.
I think it's worth noting and clarifying and letting you know this, Deb. That's a strong Rotten Tomato score.
It is. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
74 is not bad.
If it's in the 70s, Rotten Tomato, I mean, that's strong.
Okay,
Deb,
good.
is this a series? Like, I looked it up, and it looks like it's a movie.
It is a movie. It's 1 hour and 35 minutes long.
Okay. So they dramatize it.
They dramatize it, yes. It's basically them showing you how these women went missing, how one mother, Mary Gilbert, whose daughter Shannon was discovered in 2011, but she is not considered one of the victims. And to me, it almost feels like a pushback from the police because she made them look bad.
Right, yeah.
She made them look bad. She drew attention to the fact that my daughter may have been a prostitute, but she was still a human being, and someone took her life, and you're going to help me find out who that is.
Exactly. That's one of the big cases of this thing is like the early cases that the cops really didn't pay a lot of attention to it because of what they were doing for a living at the time.
In fact,
almost
one of the
like,
people,
hey, you assume the responsibility of doing this because you're a hooker.
And one of the people in the film, you'll recognize him because he's the guy behind the insurance commercials who's Mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
That guy.
So he plays one of the detectives who actually says, how long are we going to spend looking for a hooker?
Wow. Unbelievable, man.
But to someone else, that was their daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, it says inspired by true events.
And it is. And it gives you a chance to see a little bit of the backstory because right now, the story is about the murderer and how he got away with it. This is the story about the victims and everything the people that love them, their mothers and sisters and friends had to do for people to even pay attention to the fact that they disappeared.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. That's something I would love to watch anyway, so thank you. By the way, some breaking news. Las Vegas police have just served a search warrant in the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Whoa.
So I'll tell you more about that when we get back.
So he's dead?
What you do that's new, brought to you by Glenn Clausman, KLAUSMANLAW.com.
Proudly sponsored since day one by Glenn Clausman, ClausmanLaw.com.
Bye.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law, ClausmanLaw.com.
Looking at your normal afternoon delays on I-4 in the Orlando area as you travel east and westbound by the major attractions exits. Still seeing some moderate delays downtown if you're traveling between Anderson and Robinson Street. No problems at this time north or southbound on Florida's Turnpike. If you see traffic problems, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 deal. Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
Man, let me tell you something. When it's hot outside, your AC is your safety. That's the area you go to live a little bit. And if you don't have a good AC system in your house this time of year in Florida, you are donezo. But the good thing is we do have Mills Air here in Central Florida, and they can take good care of you the way they took care of Deb's mom and Ross, who had both difficult situations. Deb's mom been dealing with the company for 7-8 years. But when she made the phone call and needed help, they couldn't come through for her. So we called Mills Air, who immediately came through for her. And with Ross, he bought a house that never had an AC system in it, not a central heat and air, and it was tough. Companies turned him down, said, we can't put a system in there. One call to Mills Air. Guess what? Got a system in there. That's what they do better than anybody. When everybody else says no, these guys say yes, and they can take care of you every single day. Their techs know these brands inside and out. You don't even have to know what kind of AC you have. Carrier factory authorized dealers as well. That could get you up to $1,275 in rebates towards that brand new Carrier unit. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier, and certainly always turn to Mills Air. These guys are family owned and operated and ready to help you today. It's 407-277-1159. Online, millsair.com.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
With the Autio app riding shotgun, every road trip is an adventure.
Autio is my traveling companion. It's educational, entertaining, funny. It makes the drive come to life.
The Autio app automatically plays you stories about the natural wonders, local legends, and fascinating histories outside your car window, with over 10,000 unique stories from coast to coast.
I've learned more about my hometown from the Autio app than I did growing up here.
Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
My fellow Americans, R.C. Hill here from R.C. Hill Mitsubishi. I think it's high time we celebrate. To help you relieve stress and start having fun again. It's time to let freedom ride and break free from your old ride. And declare your independence in a nicer, newer car for just $7 down. Have you been feeling put down, fed up, or just plain tired? Then it's time to let freedom ride. So keep your cash and drive a new 23 Outlander for just $7 down. All RC Hill Mitsubishis include a lifetime limited warranty. Even if you've heard no in the past, America is the land of opportunity. And I believe everyone deserves to drive a nicer, newer car today. So kick your old ride to the curb and let freedom ride for just $7 down. But hurry, this celebration ends soon. I'm RC Hill, your car dealer next door. Get free at rchill.com. That's rchill.com.
$7 down requires state approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Example, stock number N12354. $7 down, $3.99 per month for 84 months. 3.9 APR.
You can always count on a classic. It's timeless and tastefully legendary. That's the truth behind the Troppy Chop. Often imitated, too delicious to be duplicated. The sauce just won't taste the same. But to really stand out, you gotta stay fresh and move to the beat of your own bowl. The Troppy Chop, only at Pollo Tropical. A classic that never goes out of style.
The podcast, The Girlfriends, tells the story of Carol and Mindy, two women who both dated a man named Bob. On paper, Bob is the total package, a successful plastic surgeon, a pilot. But Carol and Mindy discover that Bob could also be a murderer.
I, in a joking way, say to him, well, what did you do, murder your wife? And his response was, what do you know?
Listen to The Girlfriends on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
That huge data breach from a few weeks ago has probably moved off your radar, but your information could still be on the dark web. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious activity, like someone using your info. If there's a problem, LifeLock's U.S.-based identity restoration specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but LifeLock will help protect your identity long after this breach is forgotten. Save up to 25% your first year. Use promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
If you own a business with at least 5 employees and were operational during COVID, then you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund up to $26,000 per employee. This is not a loan, and you do not need to pay this back. Visit governmentaid.com today. Their team of ERC experts will navigate this complex process and file on your behalf. They've helped tens of thousands of businesses obtain billions. Act today. Visit governmentaid.com to see if your business qualifies.
Running a small business takes grit and determination and a communications provider that's got your back. That's Spectrum Business. Fast, reliable communication solutions that keep your business going. Get 300 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month when bundled with Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one phone system that lets you work from anywhere on any device. And get a free mobile line for a year. Visit spectrum.com/go faster. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
These days, more often than not, the success of a company is attributed to its founder. But that's only part of the story. My name is Noah Callahan Bever, and I'm proud to present Idea Generation's All Angles, a Will Packer Media podcast. We'll be talking to all the key players from all your favorite brands, like Loud Records, Ghetto Gastro, and Earn Your Leisure. So join me each week as we dissect the most dynamic companies in culture, because the only way to truly understand success is to look at it from all angles. Listen to Idea Generation's All Angles on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Order your Hummer EV at orangebuickgmc.com. We are professional grade. Are you offended yet? Obviously, we're only kidding. You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Your 4 o'clock keyword is pay, P-A-Y. Go to realradio.fm and send that away. Maybe you can win that $1,000. We'd love to finally get a winner. You could be our first. Pay is your 4 o'clock keyword. Get in there and get that money.
Some people have been playing all week and haven't won yet.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's like the lottery, Jack.
Yeah. We have people who've been playing for 10 years.
I know.
Yeah. And then we hear from them, too. Trust me. Like, somebody else won? Damn, I've been playing all this time.
We've had one person win twice.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. Oviedo Mall is doing something that my hometown mall did, actually. Have you guys seen the latest on this?
Are they stuffing old people in there?
Well, they are going to stuff some old people in there, maybe, but for a different reason than you believe.
Are they going to repair the roof?
The roof is already repaired, and it's not on fire.
Yeah, well, I was there, what was it, Friday night, and it was a long line of buckets.
Oh, is it still there?
All the way down the corridor.
I read that they poured quite a bit of money in there, and the roof was one of the things they poured in that they supposedly fixed.
A lot of buckets.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it was only a portion of it or something. I don't know. But they're looking to do something. In my hometown, Palatka, Florida, they did this. They had a mall at one point. Actually, it's still there. The structure. There are no businesses in the mall anymore because when Walmart came into town, all the small businesses that were in the mall were obliterated by Walmart. And I'm not kidding. It did not take very long at all. It was a nuclear retail bomb that was dropped in there.
So one of the go-to moves for Walmart.
That's what it does, especially
what happens.
Especially in small towns like that.
Yep.
Usually it wipes out all the competition and becomes one of the biggest employers, which is exactly what it did in my hometown of 10, 11,000 people. And it was a shame because the mall was a cool structure and it gave people somewhere to go on the weekends and somewhere to do. But unfortunately, St. Augustine is way too close to my hometown, and they have the outlets and other malls, so you could easily drive just 30 minutes. And while you're over there, enjoying the beach, you could do your shopping as well. So it didn't find much favor. It didn't last very long at all. I think it was maybe in business for 10, maybe 15 years before we started to see the decline. It had two major anchor stores, JCPenney and I think a Belk Lindsay's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there was a story I was going to put in Woke News about something similar happening in Oviedo.
Yeah.
But I think I'm interested in whether or not this could really work.
Well, so this is what they did. So when I went back to play the golf tournament I play in March every year, I like to drive around all the places that that I used to stomp as a kid, just to see how things have changed. I think it's just kind of just kind of reminisce a little bit.
And do you ever catch yourself looking at those landmarks when you were a kid, and you're like, man, those things are way smaller than I remember?
Just everything is different than you remember for
the
sure.
roads are shorter.
Yeah, exactly.
So went into the mall because there are a couple of things open and you can go into the front door. Well, I did not expect to see what I saw because I did not know anything that had happened. But when I walked in, what they did is they built walls about halfway down because the mall is just a long strip with the anchors on an end, right? And you entered through the middle, and the middle had like a fountain in the middle and stuff. So it was just basically, a long strip. And what they did was about halfway down each strip headed toward the anchors, they built walls there, and they used it for their government buildings. Whoa. So the Health and Human Services, all of the government buildings that you have, I don't think the courthouse is still downtown, but everything else, honestly, except for the courthouse was
DMV?
Yeah, I believe so. Well, no, maybe still across the river, but everything, like all of the human services, like whether it be welfare, healthcare, things of that nature, it was all in that building. And I was like, wow, it was just a major, it was weird because when they walled it up, you couldn't even really tell what it was. It's just you kind of walked in there, it really kind of set you back because you have a preconceived notion of what it looked like. Well, it looks like Oviedo may be doing something similar. Like Deb said, they want to build a new police station there.
And City Hall.
Right? Because Oviedo is growing like crazy. And what they're also thinking about doing is taking all of the government facilities and putting it in the mall. So when you have to go get your driver's license, you put it all in one area, and you go in there. And I'd also heard they were going to kind of maybe create a medical facility in there so that when you went to, and it would have everything. It would have your every ologist that you could possibly need would be in that building so that when you went in, you would have one space to go. You wouldn't have to worry about driving all over town to find the doctor or the area you needed to go. You go into this one building, and it's all in one spot.
So I remember you mentioned that in the news. I think they had that in the news a week ago, and I noticed they have a panel up of like Orlando, like orthopedic, I think, was the facility that was going in there. But that's a special... That's specific. It's not the general all-encompassing thing.
Right, yeah. But
what you're talking about.
But what they're trying to do is this is what I've read. Now, again, this has been in flux for a while. But the last idea I heard, the first one was it was going to be residential. It was like a 55 and up kind of community where you could have everything you needed, your doctors and everything in one building, so you didn't really have to do anything else. Basically, a really nice old folks home is what it was going to turn into. And I don't know that they're not going to do part of it like that because it's a relatively big mall and it's a lot of space.
I'm interested.
So, but they want a $35 million bond on the November referendum ballot to be able to get the money to possibly, I guess, retrofit the mall to have the police department and other things in there. What they want to do is they want to have a medical Main Street. And now they're suggesting that the government may want to look at the mall property for its proposed project as well. So it could be a combination of those two things.
Interesting.
Which I think would be very cool because, again, you have access to everything you need right there. You could even keep the food court. You could keep some of the other retailers as well. You won't need all of the space, but you could provide services and products internally in the mall that could still serve that community that's there to do what they're going to do medically or through the government.
The mayor apparently prefers to build at a new location, which would cost over $35 million, whereas, the director of development, Kevin Hypes, is like, let's just use what's already here.
Yeah, man.
Let's save the taxpayers
We can
some
put
money.
the police station, all the public facilities, public safety, city hall, and all the facilities in the mall all in one place.
And that mall, I forgot how big it was because typically I'd go there to go to the movie theater. I was going to a different store Friday, so I went the other way around, and I actually thought I had to turn around because I thought I passed it. It was so big. There's I forget what department store it used to be, but that's I might have been the Sears.
There's a Macy's,
that's
a Sears.
empty now
And
there.
the old Sears is where they're thinking of putting the city hall and new police station.
Yeah.
So that old Sears that was so big would be able to handle the police station in City
and
Hall.
more parking lot than you'll ever need.
Right, exactly.
As a matter of fact, where he wants to build it, where the mayor wants to build it, is in the parking lot of the mall. They want to build the new police station in the parking lot of the mall. Here's the thing. The people who own the mall are going to charge them like $1.2 million a year to rent it or to lease that property.
Right, where they can always have the property that's already there.
But the city will own the buildings, which really doesn't make any sense in my opinion. I mean, my wife was in corporate real estate for a while, and that's a big part of how, that's why McDonald's is considered one of the biggest real estate companies in the world because they own all the property those stores are on.
Yeah.
So it's they're a big real estate holder as well. So with this,
that damn Michael Keaton.
But here's what I think gets weird, right? Here's where it gets really weird with public money. Okay? So Seminole County just built a gargantuan new, I say just, it's actually probably 8-10 years old now.
Oh my God.
The new courthouse that's down there. It seems new because we've been used to going to Sanford for so long and having the Seminole County courthouse be down there by the river, right? Well, they're about to shut that down because now the new courthouse is over there off 1792, right there where the Flea World used to be.
Yeah.
Right. That's the big new facility where they're shutting that down. I wonder if Oviedo is caught up in the idea, well, if we put our city hall and everything in the mall, it's going to look cheesy.
That's what I thought when I saw the mayor saying he wants to build for $35 million elsewhere. I thought, oh, you just don't want...
You want a pretty new police station that you can walk by and hang your name on and stuff. Now, I don't know this to be the case. I mean, but I would think in a small town, when you build something like that, you want a freestanding building. You wouldn't want it in an old mall because it looks cheesy. It looks chintzy. And Oviedo has a bit of... There's not an air to Oviedo by any means, but it is a nice place to live for sure.
Yeah, they're trying, and they're for the most part they're doing.
Would you think that like if you moved to Oviedo and you found out that the city hall and all the public facilities were in an old mall, would you think, oh man, how cheesy is that?
No. I would think, wow, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
And very progressive. And it seems like I would spend $8 on a coffee right around the corner.
And if they spent some of that $35 million, not including what the lease fee could potentially be year after year, and use that to maybe fix the facade or create just a different look that would elevate, to meet what maybe the mayor and other city officials are thinking, you could have your cake and still eat it too. That way you're not tearing down a structure that's already there and is basically empty and begging for people to use the space.
And then
you can use part of that money to make it look the way that you want to look, but not an entire $35 million you're going to be squeezing taxpayers for.
100%. Somebody just said that Orange County tax collector and SunPass are using spaces in the West Oaks Mall, which is also one of those malls that just pretty much has seen its days.
Used to shop there just about every weekend.
Sure, and now it's
call centers and
Ghost Town and
SunPass and Orange County tax collector.
Right. So the malls are having a tough time. There's only like three of them in Orlando that are very viable anymore. Florida Mall, the Millennium Mall, and, of course, Altamont Mall. And Altamont Mall's teetering.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you, it's teetering. It's still viable. There's no question. But they've built up that Crane's Roost area around it so much. I mean, the shopping around there, so...
Uptown Altamont?
Yeah. That whole area has kind of dwarfed the mall. And I don't know what happened to retailers. The mall idea still seems like a good idea to me, especially in a state like this. But yet, Waterford Lakes and places like the Loop out in Kissimmee and that the thing out in Ocoee, which is that Stony Brook area, it's all these outdoor shopping centers where you have to leave, walk outside, and then walk into another store. Now, of course, you're not paying air conditioning, or I'm sure the rent may be a bit cheaper or whatever. But for a customer, like for me, like who wouldn't want to be in a mall the entire time? You're air conditioning the entire time. You don't have to worry about the storm or any of that. I never kind of understood why malls lost favor.
Well, think about the times you have to go to. If I have to go to a mall, it's usually specifically for one thing. So you are parking. You're trying to park to the entrance nearest the area you want. And it's a lot more walking if you're going for one thing. The neat thing about a mall when we were teenagers was hanging out there because there were so many different things. For the person who likes to go shopping and browsing, I could see that appeal. But for the person like myself, I just want to get in, find what I'm looking for, and get out.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather park as close to the store on my destination as possible.
I think it's also just a lot has to do with changing consumer taste. You've got the millennial and, the Zoom generation that are more into thrifting. These new generations are really against what malls were kind of set up for, and that's unadulterated consumerism.
Right.
Where you walk from one end and you pass this many shoe stores, this many clothing stores. This younger generation has shown us that they don't need to shop like that anymore.
Wow, man.
And they don't do it anymore. I mean, look at thrifting. It's bigger now than anything.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's big.
But you're not going to put a Goodwill in a mall because that's the space that you want for your more shishi stores.
Well, not to mention you can afford it. I mean, Goodwills can never afford,
exactly.
$8-10 a square foot or whatever it is for that mall property.
I really think it's changing consumer tastes.
But it's still, for me, though, man, it's still kind of weird because, again, it was always a great shopping experience. And I will tell you, I mean, to me, we don't have small downtowns anymore to make it feel great during Christmas.
Hey, you speak for yourself.
I mean, you have that. But I
have that in spades.
But that's rare. I mean, you have to move 25 miles outside the city to get that, But when you would go to the mall during Christmas, man, that's where you felt like it was Christmas. The Christmas music was all throughout the mall. All the stores were decorated. Santas were there. People were walking around in their Christmas clothes.
He had whiskey on his breath.
It just felt good. But like when you go to Waterford Lakes or somewhere like that shop where you walk in, it's like there's no cover to walk anywhere. You're always out in the sun or in the rain, or you're stuck in the store. The food stores are separated, unlike the food court where you could go and go, okay, I'll take that one, and I'm just walk over, we'll meet me at that table, and then you can get Chinese, and I'll get a cheesesteak sub. And we'll get some sweet and sour chicken.
Food court in any mall rips.
Yeah, dude, they're good.
And you don't even have to be drunk, high, or anything. You can be sober and be like, damn, this is heaven.
Still a good choice.
This is awesome.
Well, I wish them the best out there, man. It would be great to see that facility used. I'm with Deborah. It's a shame the mall really isn't all that old.
When was the last time you went to the mall, though? I feel all this passion. You're the William Wallace of, large retail malls.
The last one I was in was Oviedo Mall because they have a believe it or not, they have a vintage kind of thrift store in there. And we go in there looking for cool stuff sometimes.
That was your Kentucky Derby store, right?
That's right.
I went to District Eat and Play last Friday, and that's where I saw Indiana Jones, and I might be going to Mission Impossible tonight.
Really?
Whoa, look at you, big
And that
player.
District Eat and Play place is kind of cool. It's like a big game room with a restaurant.
So I did the bowl, and for the first time, I don't know, I've heard the term duck pin bowling, but it's bowling, but it's like almost like a bocce ball, like a small ball. You hold your whole hand. That was fun.
And the pins are like dowels. They're not like pins.
Yeah. Well, they're connected to wires, so there's no one setting it. It's kind of funny. It just drops, and when you hit it, they're all like bouncing around. Yeah.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Your 4 o'clock keyword is pay. You still got a few minutes. Get over to realradio.fm and send that away for your chance at $1,000. Back in a sec with more of the Jim Colbert Show.
Real radio is Real Music Weekends. classic weekends. This weekend on Real Radio 104.1. Brought to you by attorney Mo DeWitt. Injured on the go? Just call Mo.com.
From the Rude Air Conditioning Weather Center, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Allison Gargaro with a look at your Central Florida forecast. Hot highs today through the Orlando metro in the low 90s with feels-like temperatures soaring to the triple digits. It's going to be muggy, sun and clouds to start, and then a rise in shower and thunderstorm activity, mainly after 2-3 o'clock. Coverage will be at 70%. You can expect the potential for heavy rain at times, which could lead to localized flooding as well as frequent lightning. I'm Storm Team meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
This report is sponsored by Wawa. Wawa's new rechargers are energy drinks for everyday doers. Whether you're going out or staying in, power through your day with a new handcrafted iced or frozen Wawa recharger. Gotta have a Wawa.
Man, it's a fact when it comes to your health, early detection saves lives, no question about it. When it comes to your long-term health care, you certainly want the most information possible for sure, and that is where Life Imaging FLA comes into play with their free heart scan. With Life Imaging FLA, there is no guessing game. You have the hard data right there in front of you in real time. That way you can create a healthcare plan that's proactive and not reactive, and that's so important. And with my full body scan from Life Imaging FLA, I now know some things. 3 things, actually, I've got to watch out for at my age, 55 years old. Got to start paying attention to this stuff as I get a little bit older, and now I have a plan. Set all those appointments up, got them all ready to go, and that is what Life Imaging FLA is all about. Get that free heart scan, just a few minimum requirements, but it is a $699 value, and while you're there, be sure to ask about their cancer screening as well. And by the way, you don't have to get naked or drink anything or any of that. It only takes a few minutes. You're in and out in no time at all. Then you have that information that could save your life. Just pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250, say the keyword free heart scan. That's it. Just pound 250, say the keyword free heart scan. They'll connect you in seconds. Don't wait another minute. Make that important appointment today and learn what is going on in your body. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
I'm Charles. I got a bad back injury when a truck crashed into my car. You know those lawyer ads. All they talk about are themselves and money, money, money. I wanted the best doctors for my back. I called attorney Glenn Clausman. He got me to really good doctors, and I'm doing great. Glenn was always available to talk to. He got me a great settlement and quicker than I thought possible. Car crash? Call Clausman at 407-917-1718. KLAUSMAN law.com.
Office, Winter Park.
Be rewarded today. Donate life-saving plasma at Biomet Plasma. Your plasma can save lives, and you'll earn up to $400 in just 4 donations. Donating plasma is quick, easy, and worthwhile. Donate today at Biomet Plasma, 2501 Discovery Drive in East Orlando. Learn more at grifflesplasma.com.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Equipment change-outs and upgrades right now with up to $1,275 in rebates. Visit millsair.com.
Deals on the McD app are kind of like cool breezes on a hot summer day. You don't know when they're coming, but when they hit, there's nothing quite like them. Save time and get back to summer fun when you order ahead on the app. Pick up a juicy, tender McCrispy, golden fries, and a refreshing Dr. Pepper. It's 30% off your entire order when you spend $5 using mobile order and pay on the McD app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid 6/1/23 through 12/31/23 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
A meal at McDonald's brings my family closer together. And now that same meal helps bring other families closer together. When we order a family bundle deal that has 40 crispy chicken McNuggets and 2 large fries, McDonald's donates 50 cents to local Florida Ronald McDonald House Charities chapters, providing a home away from home so families can stay close to their child during medical care. We can also round up our order and the extra will get donated. Food, family, and helping others? What could be better? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
At International Diamond Center, their diamonds don't just sparkle, they come to life.
The diamond doesn't smile at you, don't buy it. The diamond's got to talk to you.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire says the reason his diamonds have this magical quality is because every diamond at IDC has passed through the highest possible quality control standards and chosen for maximum beauty.
You're seeing the brilliance and the scintillation. There's no obstruction in that diamond. There's no internal graining. There's no clouds. An IDC diamond is better because, pure and simple, we put the time, the effort of selecting only the best. Every diamond's going to be handpicked by us. We're looking for nothing but the top percent.
So there's never any cutting corners, no compromising, no settling for an okay diamond.
Let's be critical. Let's pick the best and deliver the best we can. We do all the hard work in the beginning.
Is that diamond you're about to buy just okay, or does it speak to you? Come to IDC and listen before you buy.
Anybody that sees it on her hand, they're going to be on, where'd you get that diamond?
International Diamond Center, 4 Orlando locations.
Divorce? Call Trinley and Kramer, TK Law, onefirmforlife.com.
Real Radio 104.1.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show on Real Radio 104.1.
You hit it right on the head. Every time I'm shopping at the premium outlets, it's either hot as hell or raining. I don't understand why they don't put a roof over it. Not sure what happened to the mall. It makes no sense because it's hot as hell here, and it's just getting hotter. And every Christmas, we still take my 8-year-old down to the mall for the experience because, Jimmy, you're right. For us, it's just part of the experience, the shopping, the Santa Claus, all of it. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess it's just as I get a little bit older and things progress, you see the things that, meant a lot to you as a kid, and in our era, our being myself, Jack, and Deborah, our era, hanging at the mall was kind of a passage. They made movies about hanging at the mall.
Yeah.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High is like filmed at a mall. Like, Night of the Living Dead, part of that movie and the new ones are filmed at a mall, so the malls were what?
That's just a weird example
but it
for
was
a mall movie.
Yeah,
That was out of desperation.
I understand. It doesn't matter, though. I mean, but the idea is that, we kind of grew up experiencing shopping that way, and it's changed. Of course, I'm sure shopping online has had a lot to do with the demise of malls and just retail business in general, where you walk in and buy something. But here's what I don't understand. I don't understand how the mall got replaced with like a Waterford Lakes idea. Nobody will be able to explain that to me.
It's probably cost efficiency.
That's the only thing it has to be is the per square foot scenario for the malls probably had to get too much. And of course, ironically, it would be perfectly good to go in there now because it's so cheap. But you can't explain to me how a fully air conditioned environment protected from the weather and rain is a lesser experience than walking around outside in the heat and the possible rain in Florida. But that's exactly what people are opting for, because let me tell you, there's no shortage of problems at Waterford Lakes. That place is a zoo 24 hours a day. It is a madhouse over there. My son and I were just over there at Pop Stroke, that new putt-putt thing from Tiger Woods, which is in the backside of Waterford Lakes. Yeah. And my God, man, there's no parking spaces. It's full. There are no empty spaces. Every retail slot is rented.
And that's the UCF territory.
You're right.
But is it more retailer friendly to have a setup like that? Because
you can pull up into the front of the one store you want to go into and pop in and then pop out like you were saying?
Yeah, as my desire as a consumer, but for the business owner, I don't know what was it more expensive to be in the mall because they were providing at the time a built-in crowd, that air-conditioned experience,
right? Yeah,
and a lot of the overhead they were responsible for. So maybe your rent was higher. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Somebody just said, mall rats. Like that's what we used to get called, mall rats. When we were kids, the little punks that ran around the mall were mall rats.
Ross longs for that, our 80s mall experience.
But someone else texted and said the mall was there for socialization and shopping. And think about it. We socialize on our phones now, and we can also shop on our phones as well for a lot cheaper than going to the mall, parking, driving, getting out, walking around.
How sad is that? That is the most anti-human thing there is. Like, you think about that. That is so anti-human. The idea that you would sit on your phone in your house and have all your social experiences and all your shopping experiences be on a 3x5 screen, as opposed to going out and actually interacting with other human beings, forcing yourself to learn courtesy.
But for a lot of people, they don't want to be in those big crowds anymore.
I guess.
That idea of being around a lot of other people and it being comforting, you don't hear that out of people's mouths now. No, I don't. Even like neighbors, circles of friends, like, I'm anxious in crowds now. I really don't like that big scene. And that's completely, that's the whole reason why we went to the mall when we were kids. But now as adults, a lot of people don't want to be around those stranger danger crowds.
The funny thing is those same people will go to Walmart. And by the way, these Walmarts they're building now are gigantic, like 60, 70,000 square foot Walmarts that are full of people all the time. So, I guess that retail has changed. There's no question. But there are some people bucking the system, and Walmart and Target, they're bucking it. They're still doing great.
Well, that's because their prices are cheap,
I guess.
And also, they don't have to deal with like teenagers.
Yeah. Nobody's hanging out at Walmart,
exactly.
Right?
You don't have that issue.
No one's killing it over at Walmart.
But Walmart is kind of a mall now. Walmarts have McDonald's in them now. They have eye doctors in them. They have dentists in them.
Yeah, but
they
you're
have
not gonna find teenagers.
They have hairstylists. But what I'm saying is, if you're looking for a total indoor shopping experience, Walmart is really kind of mimicking that a little bit. Almost. You can do your banking in Walmart now, right? They have banks in there. You can get your hair cut. You can get your eyes checked. I think some of them even have dental programs in there. 2 or 3 of them have McDonald's.
Banks.
Yeah, the banking. So, I don't know, man. It's just kind of odd. It's just weird how consumers decide, like seemingly within a decade or so, we don't like that anymore. And all these structures and all that investment, it all goes to just to put nothing.
Yeah.
And then those are just empty eyesores now, and they're off somewhere else, whether on their phone or at a Walmart or at Waterford Lakes or whatever.
When you need something, what's the first thing you do when you're thinking about buying something?
See, I'm not an online shopper. I like going retail. I like immediately buying something. I don't like waiting for it to come in the mail. My wife is that person. She will buy it and then wait for it. Doesn't matter what. I want to go get it now. So I am a retail person. I will drive to the store to go to get something specific without question. I got no problem with that whatsoever.
I just dropped $500 in a retail store.
How'd you do that?
Bought a new Xbox.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? Like Best Buy?
No, GameStop.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. Don't have the stock, but I did get an Xbox.
And that's a store that used to be in the malls.
Yeah.
And now you see them in strip centers now because that's where they had to go.
One thing that always pisses me off is that all the strip malls around a mall, when they build, it's like a moat.
Uptown, that's what they did at Uptown.
Yeah,
Uptown's like, they built it so you could see them all from the place you weren't going to anymore.
Exactly. Now you're kind of, I'm sure the mall owners aren't too happy about having a strip mall surrounding their mall.
I would guess not.
That's kind of the same case with Millennia. Not really, though, because even although there are strip malls around Millennia, it's not Gucci. It's like a juice smoothie place.
Yeah, there's that one area of the mall Millennia. You're like, I'll just walk around this.
Yeah. I think
when you go to Hermes and you go, how much is that blanket? And they go $7,500. Or like for a blanket.
Yeah.
They're like, $7,500. They wouldn't even let you in there during Christmas, by the way. You have to sign up and they call you.
And your bill will be $40. For what? I didn't buy anything. Air. You breathe our air.
The texter points out something that you do get at strip malls, you don't get at the regular mall, and that's visibility. Like from the street, whether it's driving by, how many times have you seen something and decided to shop at a place because it's on your way. You see the sign. You kind of get used to it. It's like, I'll go there. It's on my way.
And you're right. And now, since the idea that nobody goes to malls anymore, no retailers want to be in malls because you can't see them now. You're 100% right.
I can't tell you all the stores in the mall right now.
That has to be one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, is that you can't see what's inside of the mall.
That's right. And in Waterford Lakes, those places you can drive right by and see everything that's there. Yeah, that could be it. 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Elizabeth Banks said something. You know the actress Elizabeth Banks?
Yes.
She made a comment on a podcast that's actually kind of interesting. I want to see what you guys think about it. We'll do that next.
That's right.
The 2023 Real Radio Charity Poker Tournament presented by JustCallMo.com will be August 19th. Get the details at realradio.fm/poker.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Still seeing some slowdowns on I-4 this afternoon in the usual spots on the interstate, right by the major attractions exits as you travel both east and westbound. Moderate delays still reported as you travel through downtown as well. However, no major delays to report on the Beach Line or on the Greenway so far. If you see any traffic problems, just make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Big deals on better sleep are here early. It's Black Friday now at Mattress Firm. Save up to $600 and score a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. See a Mattress Firm sleep expert today to find your perfect bed and get 120 nights to make sure it's right.
That mortgage guy, Don, he's a mortgage broker, you know. That means he's not a retail lender or a corner bank, and he's got a really cool feature on his website that lets you see what the broker difference is. Just go to thatmortgageguydon.com and click the compare quote button and upload your quote. Don is going to interpret it for you, tell you how much you are actually paying for your loan, and let you know if you can get a better deal. But if you already have a great deal, that mortgage guy, Don, is super honest. He'll tell you that too, and that means it's peace of mind right there at your fingertips. So don't miss the boat. Compare your quote at thatmortgageguydon.com.
If you own a business with at least 5 employees and were operational during COVID, then you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund up to $26,000 per employee. This is not a loan, and you do not need to pay this back. Visit governmentaid.com today. Their team of ERC experts will navigate this complex process and file on your behalf. They've helped tens of thousands of businesses obtain billions. Act today. Visit governmentaid.com to see if your business qualifies.
It happens in a matter of seconds, but the aftermath can last a lifetime. Car crash, slip and fall, there's only one Mo you should call, the Mo you know. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
In this week's Marketers Report, Raja Manar, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of MasterCard, talks about measurement.
Measuring Sonic and Sonic branding, the principles of measurement are the same, but the parameters that you measure are different. We measured, and what we find is our investment is paying for itself in oodles.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Get Ready for College sale. Oh my, are you okay?
My baby boy is going off to college. And move-in day is almost here.
Well, right now through July 25th, you can save on everything they need for the semester. Plus, join us in-store on the 22nd and 23rd for giveaways, workshops, and more.
Did you say savings?
Yep. Come in-store or go to ikea-usa.com/readyforcollege to save on the semester. Offer valid dates may vary. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store on ikea-usa.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
The Home Depot and Behr are there for pros and now offer same-day or next-day delivery on top-rated Behr paints, stains, and primers. Get the most trusted paint brand in America delivered straight to your job site and spend less time stressing and more time painting. Contact a Behr Pro Paint Specialist to schedule your paint delivery today. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Limitations may apply, not available in all markets. See store for details. Ranked most trusted paint brand based on 2023 Life Story Research.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance company, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Focus on getting better and let us take care of everything else. Our experienced team will get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
In Office Orlando.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco. president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Applebee's daily deals for $9.99 and under. There's a deal every day for everyone. Just $9.99 and under. That's all day, every day. Get into your local Applebee's now. Daily deals are dine-in only in limited locations listed on nrpneighborhood.com. Limited time only while supplies last. Participation varies.
This hour of programming brought to you in part by FAS Windows and Doors.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because you matter. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. 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 Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch. Yeah. We like it when you watch. At The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
I lived in Seminole County for about 30 years, and 5 years ago I moved up to Knoxville, Tennessee. The day I moved up here, the Knoxville Mall closed down, and they demolished it and built an Amazon distribution center, which has now been sitting empty for 2.5 years. I missed the mall. At Christmas time, you couldn't even find a parking place, but I guess that's progress.
Yeah, that's great. I hear the lamenting in your voice on the quote progress of that. We did have another interesting text on our texting service 77031. Outside shopping malls limits exposure to airborne pathogen. Shopping indoors at large plazas like in a mall always presents the risk of being involved in a mass shooting. As a former or as a law enforcement officer, I can tell you that, quote, a lot of agencies specifically train for such incidents in a mall due to the high risk of occurrence based on previous events.
It's like I said before, it's just that whole crowd experience is taking on a completely different vibe now.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. I mean, people, it's funny, you know, people our age are texting in and, you know, basically saying that it's the same thing, you know, all those social experiences we had as kids, hanging out at the arcade, you know, going to a Great American Cookie Company or, you know, just kind of hanging out in general. That's where you stomped, you know, it was, you wouldn't really go to parties or anything. You just kind of hung out at the mall and walked around and just socialized.
Yeah,
and,
but kids don't talk to each other anymore.
Yeah,
They're sitting next to each other on their phones, so
Right,
they
yeah.
don't need to be in the same mall.
Yep. It's crazy, man. I guess progress, right?
I mean, it just looks radically different.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
It just
in
looks
some ways, definitely, our human communication has gone south, and in some ways, human communication has gone through the roof.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, you know, record stores back in the day, you'd go get albums there and go get CDs there.
Those
and
still
stuff.
exist.
Yeah.
Now, see, for me, because of where I live, I don't miss the mall experience as much. I can still get to the Lake Square Mall.
Right, yeah.
But I do love that neighborhood feel that the mall, see, there's
Right.
takeaway from both, right? You have the convenience and the environmental controlled aspect and the community experience of a mall.
Yeah.
But then the mall used to be a pain in the ass at the holidays because you could never find a parking spot.
Like you just said, right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you kind of lost that community feel. You lost that feel of your own town's downtown where people went and, you know, shopped local and shopped, you know, kept it in the town instead of going to some huge conglomerate mall 15 minutes away. You shop right there. You keep it right there in your neighborhood.
That's what killed our downtown. I mean, because the mall came in way before Walmart did.
Right.
And we had a cute little downtown in Palatka where it was all the storefronts. Matter of fact, Belk's used to be downtown in a store like that. So you went downtown and actually shop for your clothes and your shoes and stuff like get your hair cut.
Yeah.
It was just a few blocks, but it was all we had. But you're right. When the mall came in, all of that went away because everybody wanted to be progressive. They wanted to be in the mall. They wanted to feel like they were fancy and stuff. And shopping downtown in a small town didn't feel like fancy enough anymore.
And now, just like the saying, everything old is new again, right? That quaint idea of having a local downtown where you can shop local, is kind of taking precedence. And like Jack said too, that mass shooters, that is a part of our psyche now, whether we admit it or not. And I think it makes some of us take pause when you go into a place and you see just how packed it is. I really want to be with that many people.
And they've happened in Walmarts.
Well, they've happened in malls. Wasn't it that mall in Arizona where the latest?
Yeah.
Folks just shopping and.
Yeah. I think it's just companies. Yeah, you said you had that downtown, and then it became the mall. That's where everyone shopped because I feel, and it's not too different than what we're looking at right now. It's just companies, corporations, big dog, billionaires being able to really take advantage, fund things that take advantage of our humanity, of
our
specifically our laziness.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Because you go ahead, the malls worked because everything is in one spot.
You only have to walk there.
And now we're being told we have everything in our pocket. And here's the worst part. They're right.
And and even worse, it can get delivered that day.
That day.
You can order it that morning and get it that afternoon delivered to your house.
And you didn't have to put up with the traffic on I-4.
You didn't even have to put on pants.
When was the last time you guys tried to park at Mall at Millennia?
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. During the Christmas, it's insane.
I'm not going to say it's a better experience, but the people have spoken.
Well, you got to remember, they don't remember it as an experience. New people who shop online, they don't remember the mall as an experience. You don't really, you maybe just barely have it, right?
Yeah, no, I have a mall experience. I remember going to the mall during Christmas. I was a child.
But you're right on the edge of that line.
Yeah,
You are literally right on the edge at 33 years old. I would say anybody maybe even 2 years younger than you really never had that experience as a kid.
But when I say that the people have spoken, I'm more talking about just follow the money. Where does the money go? What is successful? Because we can go ahead and not pretend, but people can lament and say, man, what happened to the malls? Malls should come back. I think the harsh truth is that a new, sleeker, more efficient, and taking advantage of your humanity, aka laziness, showed up and just did the same thing that the mall did to your downtown.
Yeah, big theater complexes did it to drive-in theaters because that's another thing you will never experience that is badass.
Oh, I hope you say never.
Is going to a drive-in theater was just one of the coolest things ever.
I have experienced it, but I'll never experience it the way that it should. Which is
with that little crappy speaker.
Well, just
it's the worst.
Being real. I went and I've seen 2 or 3 movies on a drive-in, and it was kind of for the novelty.
Yeah.
Not for
that was how we did it.
This is the best.
Yeah, they could never compete now. It would. Anytime anybody would ever go to a drive-in right now, it would be a complete novelty. And because even if you have to pipe the stuff into your car, nobody's gonna sit there with their car, their battery activated for 2.5 hours to watch a movie. And the systems that they had to provide sound were junk.
The speakers you'd hang on your window.
Literally one little speaker you'd hang on your window. When you look back at it, you don't even know why you went. Other than the fact that you could just sit there in your car and do whatever you wanted, which is exactly what it was for.
Yeah.
Hey, you feel me?
And
that's what she said.
I'm sure there's plenty of things that, have plenty of things that have raised and died.
Yeah.
Right, even before everyone's time.
I saw Jaws at a drive-in theater. My parents didn't even know I saw it until I couldn't sleep for a week.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to be asleep in the back seat while they were watching the movie, but I kept poking my little head up, and just in time to see people get eaten.
Oh yeah,
that was a great memory to take home.
I remember we used to have a drive-through or drive-in that was kind of close to where my dad's house, and if you stood up on the dresser and you just got your nose above the windowsill, you could see the XXX rated movies.
Oh, yeah, player.
I didn't know they did XXX in a public Yeah.
Oh, they would do.
setting,
So they used to do
To
booby
8
movies.
or 9, it seemed like Triple X. You're like,
They would do booby movies at the late show, and the late showing would start at like 10:30, and it would be like, have you ever heard this movie called Hots? Help out the seals, and of course it's the same exact theory of a movie. It's like, we're gonna have to get these big boob girls to have a car wash, or we're gonna lose the seal the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And of course, next thing you know, there's 25 triple Fs out there washing cars, and that's the movie. Then me and my Uncle Bobby high on mosquito coil.
If you want to vote, let us know the last time you were in a mall. You can do that. It's the Jim Colbert Show question of the day, available in our gym members group on Facebook. It's on Twitter at Real Radio 1041 or in our YouTube chat. When's the last time you were at a mall? It's either within the past month, 1 to 6 months, or longer.
Okay, here's a blast from the past, gentlemen. Someone just texted us. Our Kansas trucker friend, Solomon. In high school, I worked in the mall, 81 to 83. Tom McCann's shoes. Saturday, all your buddies there, but you worked doing credit card, had to call an 800 number.
Oh, my God almighty.
You couldn't even run it through the...
Had the slide machine. Oh, Christ. And they used to have Wunderbar there.
Oh, yeah.
You could go in there and get hammered on German beers and schnitzel.
Wunderbar.
Oh, God, it was so good. Radio Shack was still alive.
Oh, Wunderbar had all those awesome sausage and cheese samplers that they whipped out around the holidays that you could buy something for the people. Your parents always bought those for the people they worked with. And get them some sausage and cheese.
And, of course, if you're a kid and you go into the mall, where are you going? What's the first store?
Arcade.
Baby toys?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
Spencer Gifts.
Spencer Gifts is where you
go.
No, you said kid. I think a tweenager. That that early teen.
12,
cool.
12, 13. You had to strap it down and go to the poster section, though. Oh, man, you flip those posters, and, buddy, let me tell you, things happen.
I was in Spencer Gifts
more Band-Aids.
a couple weeks ago. Spencer Gifts still alive.
Oh, yeah.
I love that place.
Probably it's like the only place you can buy that, the weed novelty stuff or the boob mug.
Oh, gotta love the boob mug.
Yeah, the boob mug's a classic.
Yeah.
Which one do I drink out of?
Dong socks. Who doesn't want a good pair of dong socks?
And then just like a 40-foot ceramic alien.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
In a rainbow wig. No reason any of it existed.
And then I think last time I was there was like, I was kind of blown away by there's like sex toys or like sexy lingerie.
Oh, yeah. No, they still have that section.
Yeah, they go hard.
Really?
Oh, yeah, little vibrators, like little butterfly vibrators back in the back.
Rabbits?
It's not bongs, but you could get like
water pipe?
Not water pipes, because it wouldn't go
One
that
hit?
far. It was something. It was like a weed-related stuff.
A grinder?
Yeah, something like that.
Magic 8 Ball. That's the first thing I think of when I think of a Spencer's gift shop.
Lava lights.
Oh, yeah.
Black posters.
And if you're buying a novelty gift and you're not going to go online, Spencer's really was the only choice. Naked people playing cards.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you had to be careful what you were caught looking at when your mom came back to get you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just doing research for a paper, Mom.
Just looking at these games.
Like, there's all these prank gifts that you give to your friend just so that you can tell them, like, you have a small wiener. Here's a tiny condom.
Yeah, I think you can buy the penis straws there, remember? Like, for
bachelorette party? That's the standard.
They had a whole section there for bachelorette parties.
Yeah, they did.
You could buy a tiara with dongs on it. A dong era. That sounds wrong. That maybe I don't think Ross, look that up.
Dong era?
On the company computer, please. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. I was going to tell you about Elizabeth Banks. She's her kids are only like 12 and like 15 or something, or 10. They're 10 and 12. And she goes on this podcast. She goes on Dak Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, which is supposed to be pretty darn good. You listen to it, right, Jack?
I have in the past, not in the past year, though.
And she says they start talking about the kids, and she's like, I can't wait for them to leave. I'm ready to lose my blanking mind. And she talks about like getting to that age where it's time to start trying the things that you want to try in life. And for her marking or her debarking point is her kids leaving. And I kind of understand that because when my kids were 16, 17, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel because I knew they were all pretty much going to leave and go do their thing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not even going to know what to do with myself being an empty nester and not having the responsibility of kids. But I was going to ask, like, what age Ross, I don't know if you have an age set for this because you're only 33 and you can do this whatever. Like, what age do you decide it's time to cut loose and try something that you're never going to try? And I was going to ask everybody, what's that one thing that you would do? Like, if it's time to cut loose and really start laying down those plans of things you really want to do that may be outside the norm, because at 55 years old, you figure average life expectancy is 75. You got 20 years to fulfill all those crazy dreams of things. She's like, how many orgies am I going to go to? How many mushrooms am I going to eat? She's talking about all the stuff.
Yes.
All right, 407-916-1041. I would love to hear what your jumping off point is going to look like. We'll do that next here on the Jim Colbert Show.
If Twitter is imploding, we're going along for the ride. Join us at Real Radio 1041 on Twitter, powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Seeing your normal east and westbound delays right now on I-4 as you travel between US 27 and the 429 and between the Beach Line and 535. Be on the lookout for a crash blocking the left lane both east and westbound on Clarkona-Ocoee Road at OBT. If you see any other traffic problems this afternoon, just make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Brightline Trains. Ride brighter with high-speed rail to South Florida. Experience premium lounge perks, roomier seats, and onboard meal and drink service with 16 daily departures to South Florida. Adult fares from $79, kids from $39. Book now at GoBrightline.com.
Our question of the day about malls, it's posted on 3 different social media platforms, and we want to thank Brad at wearenotthebanks.com because he is sponsoring the Jim Colbert Show question of the day today. Now, Brad is a mortgage lender. That's what they do at wearenotthebanks.com. They're not the banks, and they brag about that. Their focus is mortgages, getting you the mortgage for your dream home. Maybe it's refinancing the mortgage so you can stay in the home you are, maybe take advantage of some of the equity you've built up over the years. WeAreNotTheBanks.com has loans for all types of buyers, VA loans, conventional loans, jumbo loans, no income documentation loans. I did a refi with WeAreNotTheBanks.com a few years ago. It was a great experience. For all your mortgage needs, the website to check out and get started is WeAreNotTheBanks.com. Go there today. And NMLS ID number 66247, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Cento Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving. From packing to delivery, Cento Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience so you can enjoy your new home in no time. Get a quote today at CentoMoving.com. Forget the stress, move with the best.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
The number one cause of accidents is distracted driving, like cell phones, eating, and playing with the radio. So leave it right here on Real Radio. Injured on the go? Just call Mo.com. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Ow. Okay, it's all right. Let's just start over. And 1, and oh.
Ballroom dancing is a lot like saving for retirement.
Okay, class. Switch up partners.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's way easier with someone who knows the right moves. With Fairwinds Credit Union as your dance partner, you can glide into financial freedom by saving more and planning for your future. Visit fairwinds.org/together and become a member today. Fairwinds. Financial freedom happens here. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, welcome to the IKEA Get Ready for College sale. Oh my, are you okay?
My baby boy is going off to college. And move-in day is almost here.
Well, right now through July 25th, you can save on everything they need for the semester. Plus, join us in-store on the 22nd and 23rd for giveaways, workshops, and more.
Did you say savings?
Yep. Come in-store or go to IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college to save on the semester. Offer valid dates may vary. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store on IKEA-USA.com for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation. and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, Orlando. You can always count on a classic. It's timeless and tastefully legendary. That's the truth behind the Troppy Chop. Often imitated, too delicious to be duplicated. The sauce just won't taste the same. But to really stand out, you gotta stay fresh and move to the beat of your own bowl. The Troppy Chop, only at Pollo Tropical. A classic that never goes out of style.
Join Jim Colbert on The Jim Colbert Show for his Cigar of the Week segment every Friday afternoon at 3:45. You can pick up these featured cigars at all 3 Corona Cigar Company locations, Dr. Phillips, Heathrow, and downtown. Learn more at coronacigar.com.
This earful of Real Radio is brought to you by crimeline.org. Give a tip anonymously.
We now return to the Jim Colbert Show. Already in progress.
Hey gang, here's an idea. Why don't you just make a mall with exterior and interior entrances for the stores, and then you can either pull up in front of the one you want or go hang out in the mall and go to the arcade and the food court and the theater, and maybe have some stuff for the kids to play on in the middle. Just a thought.
There you go. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. 5 o'clock keyword is money, M-O-N-E-Y. Go to realradio.fm and send that away for your chance at $1,000. Money is your 5 o'clock keyword. Good luck.
And of course, this would be a song you'd be jamming to on your way to the mall.
Sure, yeah.
Way to go, Jack.
You got it.
I got what you're doing there.
8283?
Yeah, the that listener, Chuck, he sent a subsequent talk back. As a matter of fact, you might as well take a listen. The audio quality wasn't great, but it was kind of funny on the heels of the first one. Here you go.
Oh, and by the way, with my mall idea, audio copyright, audio patent.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he wanted an audio copyright on that idea of interior and exterior entrances.
I think you're safe, buddy.
Yeah.
I think you're just perfectly fine.
Well, some of the larger stores have that, right?
Yes.
Well, your anchors do. Your department stores, they have their individual entrance, but some of the bigger ones do. There is
in the Seminole Town Center, the Dick's Sporting Goods, which was kind of in the middle. It was like a weird middle anchor. You could go in and out of Dick's without ever going into the mall. And the same thing with almost every one of the anchor stores.
Yeah.
And some of the restaurants, like at the Fashion Square Mall, you go into Ruby Tuesdays from the outside and never actually go into the mall. I think a number of the places were like that. All right, welcome back. I am Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. By the way, tomorrow at 5:20, no Scott Maxwell, but we are going to have a reporter on from the Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, Kevin Spears, a longtime reporter with the Sentinel, and he and 2 of his colleagues have been doing the story on the toxic water in Seminole County.
Yeah, which is a growing story, and you're going to hear a lot more about it. These guys uncovered it. Matter of fact, you probably wouldn't have heard even one syllable about this story had it not been from the Sentinel. One of the main reasons that we tell you to get the Sentinel is because you can stay in tune with what's happening in the city more so than what a lot of the local TV stations will do, because a lot of times they won't cover it unless it's kind of salacious. Yeah. Not saying that this isn't, but this isn't a story you can sink your teeth into like a drive-by.
And this is another reason why this series of articles would be reason why to support the Orlando Sentinel. Get yourself a subscription. It's unbelievably inexpensive, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But when you look at the biographies of these reporters behind this series, I think the one that's like the most recent was like 2011 got hired. I mean, some of these writers have been with the Orlando Sentinel since 1988.
Right. Yep.
One of them, their environmental reporter, has been on some of the biggest stories. Their Seminole County reporter. So none of the people behind these stories don't have the contacts and know what they're talking about and lived in the communities that they're writing about. It's an infuriating series. It's really, really aggravating. It's angering on all levels. But the people behind it, you can trust it because they've been there for decades.
And we'll talk to Kevin Spears tomorrow. I spoke with him earlier today, and he talked about he had to draw on his 34 years plus experience to really be able to unravel this story and to know what threads to pursue and whatnot. And we'll get it right from him.
You only get that with local journalism.
That's right. And a lot of times the problem, what makes these things so infuriating is nobody really ever pays the price. I mean, they're talking about cleaning up. What are you going to clean up? It's been in the ground for what, 15 years?
Well, another thing that's interesting, because we had some folks text us at 77031 when we first started talking about this story and the fact that we're going to be talking to the reporters behind it. They specifically have a line in that story for folks who did work at that Siemens plant in Lake Mary. And we did get some text messages from folks who said, I worked there, it sucked, worked there for 10 plus years. So if you have information that could be pertinent to this Sentinel story, they give you the contact information in the body of the article, phone numbers, email addresses. Of course, they'll keep it because, they cited the article that there's a lot of, non-disclosure agreements out of the lawsuit that several former Siemens employees were able to reach. So they have to speak on condition of anonymity.
Yep.
But if you have further information, they really want to hear from you.
Absolutely. So we'll talk to Kevin tomorrow at 5:20, where Scott Maxwell would usually be, and we'll find out what's happening there. So if you live in the county, especially in the Lake Mary, Sanford area, that's where the plume looked. You definitely want to pay attention because it could be information you could really use moving forward. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. We're talking about this Elizabeth Banks thing, but I don't know how that really works. She's talking about doing crazy stuff, but I don't like, my thing isn't like, when my kids moved out, I didn't want to have a giant orgy or do mushrooms or anything.
All right, scratch that.
Yeah.
All right, Never mind.
I'll cancel the order.
Yeah, no party at Jimmy's house.
I wanted to have the freedom to do what the hell I wanted to.
Jack, Dad, why are we here?
Yeah. And you haven't
the goal?
You haven't even had kids yet. And you're 33. I had my kids at like 25.
I turned 34 in like 3 hours.
No joke. When is your birthday?
Don't.
Is it
It's
Friday?
next week.
No, it's this Friday.
Is it really?
Yeah, my birthday's this Friday.
That's right, the 21st.
What?
34 years old.
Wow, did that sneak up on us?
So it's not quite middle age?
No, I would.
It's not quite middle age?
Well, it depends on what year it is.
But you have a porch on middle age.
Yeah.
100 years ago, that might have been middle age.
Oh, that was middle age. Hell, that was senior citizen.
Let me ask you something. In the last 10 years, so from 23 until now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What has changed the most for you? Around your surroundings as a person,
getting married.
What has changed the most? Of course, the marriage thing for sure. I mean, when you look around,
the job,
your body.
I would say that it's. Man, that is such a loaded question. There's like 12 different answers. The first answer that pops into my mind, no particular order. These aren't ranked. But I would say my perception of just myself and my relationship with people has definitely it's different.
I will tell you, the reason I ask is in just the 5 years that I've known you, since 2018, right? Just the 5 years. Is it 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, it's longer. 5 years we've been doing the show already.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was 2018.
You knew him at least a year longer than that.
We'll just still call it 5 years. Let's not push it.
At least 6.
Let's not push it.
Maybe 7.
I think your self-awareness has changed a lot, and you have grown up a lot in the last 5 years. Like when you came here, you were still kind of not childish, but you were still young. There was a lot of youth in you, and you had this exuberance about you. And I don't know if it's this business or whatever, but you grew up quite a bit, and you don't act like you're not like that anymore. You make adult decisions. You talk about adult stuff.
I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it is. I'm sure I'm a huge believer of that. You are a creature of your surroundings.
We're old. That's what he's saying, guys. Sons of bitches. Let's go to break and kill him.
We're regressing, so we're going to meet you at some point.
We are. That's exactly what happens, buddy.
We are.
But
I'll be 60 in skin tight jeans.
I like. Well, what's the old parent adage? Like, choose your friends wisely, or that whole thing of that's such a big red flag in a lot of parents' eyes whenever they see their kids' friends. Yeah. And they're like, oh, God, we're not doing good. We've got to have a conversation. I'm a huge believer of that. You got to surround yourself with people, not like-minded, but good people.
Yeah.
And I feel very grateful that I feel like I've done that, and you three are definitely in that category.
But one of the most surprising things about you when we met was your group of friends are also very good people. They're also very unique people. So you have something that I never had.
Did you say that was one of the most surprising things?
Well,
that he had nice
it
friends?
was, because when you meet him, when I met you at first, I didn't think that you would have friends that were, for one thing, you have a lot of long-term relationships, which I am unbelievable jealous of.
Oh, yeah, I got those.
And here's the thing. You've maintained those, and you're farther away from home than I am. And, when I go back to P-Town, like, there's maybe 3 dudes that I can still kind of talk to, and that's it. I mean, everybody else just kind of does their own thing. Nobody really cares anymore. I don't have that group of friends from high school that we still keep in contact with and see each other occasionally. I literally have like 2 or 3 guys. That's it.
I had I'm sure if you go back and listen to the podcasts, I gave you a bad month, Jim.
Oh, how's that?
October 2020 was the first time I think I ever felt sad. There was no event. There was no
You're just growing up?
It was me coming to grips with something that I got really good at, which was being a young person.
Yeah.
I excelled at that. I got pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I felt very confident where the line was in a lot of social situations. And then coming to grips with, I think I was 31, maybe 31, that you just, if I act like that now, the thing that I got good at, it's embarrassing.
Do you think you act your age?
God, I have no idea.
We heard that all the time as kids. Act your age. I have to tell you, I do not act my age.
Same.
I do not. I don't even have. I have very few friends that are my age. People my age make me uncomfortable because people my age have real jobs. And people my age have real things, like they run insurance companies, and like Code Black has a business. Like my job, this job feels like such a play toy that I don't feel like I ever like grew up. And I don't act my age. Deb, do you think you act your age? Is there any aspect of you that acts your age that when you're like, okay, this is definitely the move of a 50-year-old? I mean, when you get there.
Thank you. So no, I can't think of anything.
I don't either. I don't think I act my age at all. And I don't think I'm ever going to act my age. I think when I'm 60, I'm going to. If I could skateboard, I'd do it right now.
There's an element of that 13-year-old, that teenager, and that the precociousness that works in this job and in comedy, I would guess. But there's also a different element where you do act your age. The fact when it comes to raising a family, providing for them, the things you do to have the house and the Colbert estate that you have built up to this point.
The back 40. And that makes me wonder if losing your mind and going off the chain is something that adults with children look forward to far more so than adults without children.
Yeah, because you don't have that feeling, do you?
I don't have that.
You don't have that pressure thing like to your life. And here's the thing.
I've never had to worry about how a child is going to look up to me because the parents automatically knew don't let them around.
Yeah, because as your parent, you share your life. Like you are literally giving part of your life away to other people.
You're sharing it in ways you didn't even know you were sharing it.
You are literally giving it away. Like you're giving a lot of you away. Like your money, your earnings, your emotions.
Your time.
You give it away to these people.
Your years.
And can I tell you, a lot of times they do not appreciate it, and they rarely give it back. So when you see the end of the tunnel on you giving your life continuously, it feels like the end of a marathon. Like you can literally see it. Like, oh my God, I'll finally get to sit down. I'll finally get to have a beer. I'll finally get to do something fun. That's how you kind of look at it. And again, not taking anything away from my kids. Love them greatly. They're awesome. They're all wonderful people. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's taxing. And then after a while, you just want to go, God, I just don't want to do that anymore. I want to do something else. And again, the age thing for me is still riding around listening to hip hop at 55 years old. Listening to young hip hop, listening to young music.
Nothing wrong with that.
And doing young stuff. And I'm telling you straight up, if I didn't think that I would hurt myself beyond repair, there would be a skateboard ramp on my property right now as we speak. A little mini ramp. And I'd already thought about building one because Yulin lives out there and Yulin skates with me and he'd damn sure do it. But I know I'd kill myself.
This conversation has made me really reappreciate the movie American Beauty all over again.
I love that movie.
Because my God, is it spot on.
Yeah.
I know I'm not at Kevin Spacey's character's age in that film, but I feel it.
Yeah.
I see it coming. I get it. I know that I don't know what it tastes like, but I do know that I'm about to be served that dish of food.
Yeah.
Man, what a film.
And the thing is, it is a great movie. But, I got into the game relatively early. And that's in your generation is getting into the game late. Like, you guys are living your life. And there's two ways to do it. My buddy Daniel Dennis did the same exact thing. He lived a little bit of his life and had his child a little bit later in life. And so you're 33, 34 on Friday. And I don't know that you have any plans to get pregnant in the next 2 years or whatever, but you're going to be a father at the age of 35, 36 years old, which means when your kid leaves home, it's going to be my age. You're going to be my age when your kid leaves. Well, theoretically, leaves for college at 18. Right. You're going to be in your mid 50s.
I always worried when I was 20. When you're 20, you ask that question. I mean, what do I want? Do I want to have a kid when I'm 23, 25? Is that a possibility? I've been dating this girl for 8 months, yada, yada, yada. And now I can honestly, objectively say that I have no regret whatsoever
of not having a kid young.
No. Yeah, there's no...
Awesome.
I would have lost them.
You would, yeah.
I would have been in prison for some crazy ass tragedy because I was a POS, dude.
You are not ready for child. Listen, you weren't ready to be a dad even when you first came here. You are definitely ready to be a father now. But again, you've chosen, and really the Elizabeth Banks thing really applies to you, oddly, more than anybody, because now you have to say to yourself, because you've chosen to go late.
Yeah.
You are now like, okay, well, if we're going to start having kids, it's blow it out time for you right now, dog. You are in that game right now. The next 18 months or so for you are crucial when it comes to your party time.
And maybe this is me embracing adulthood, but I've been aware of that for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not the next 18 months. It's
the clock is ticking.
It's something that's been on my brain day in, day out for these last couple of years until, 35 to 40. And I'm not even saying that's I have plans for 35 and 40. I have plans for those 5 years. And I'm happy that I didn't have a kid, but I also feel I've been putting a lot of self-inflicted pressure on going, we've got to get this to work. We've got to be able to provide for a family,
right?
A wife, and another mouth breather.
Right, yeah. Another food taker.
Another food taker through the means of entertainment.
Yeah, let me ask you a
question.
And
I didn't know that I signed up for that statement when I was 23 going out to open mics, if I'm being straight up.
Right. Yeah, of course, who would? You don't have to think about that at 23 years. And with your mentality, there's no way you were thinking about that.
And it was so beautiful, and I got so good at that. I got so good about not thinking about those things and really... And this is why I got sad back in October, is that I really enjoyed that aspect of myself.
Yeah.
I really appreciated it. And now at 31, I'll never forget. I just had a month span of going like, yo, that part of me is dead.
And that's a generational thing for sure, because when you came from our generation, born in the 60s, coming through the 70s, growing up in the 80s, becoming an adult in the 80s, especially from where I came, small towns, the dream is get that job, get that wife, have those 2 kids, and you build that stereotypical small town life for yourself. So for me, when I moved to Orlando, I was on the hunt. I wanted to find somebody that I could get married to,
Jesus,
and I could start a family with.
Why on the hunt, though? I mean, you don't want to be on the hunt.
Well, I mean, not on the hunt, but I was very aware. I mean, you're dating anyway; it doesn't matter. But I was already motivated to find a life partner, not just date. In my early 20s, I was already looking for that. So I already knew that that's the decision I was going to make going into life. Like, I'm going to have my kids early, and then that's what we're going to do. But that's different now, man. Different. You guys are living your life now and having your kids later.
Legit, my motivation for dating throughout all of my 20s was not like, ooh, possibility of a wifey. I was kind of for selfish things. Of course, I found the person attractive. Of course, I thought I had a chance of working. But I always knew that every relationship, you learn a lot more about yourself than you do more times than not the other person. And finding out what you want out of a partner was always my motivation to get into relationships, never to have a kid.
Jack, were you like that when you left Jersey and came down here? Did you have the mentality of, look, I'm looking, because I don't know much about the Northeast when it comes to how they kind of look at how they look at the marriage thing and having kids. Was it the same mentality for you? Were you looking for somebody to start a family with, or did you think that was even part of your plan?
Not at first. Moving at 19, eventually I thought it would be, but I planned on being single for a while, and then got engaged, then wasn't engaged, and then dating, and then I found out I'd lose interest once I kind of determined that they weren't the one. Then I'd just feel like, why continue?
Why are you here?
Yeah, let's move on.
Right, because if you don't plan on going all the way, that's not even worth spending your time.
Didn't you once sign a lease? Did you have 5 months?
You just settled out? No, that is not what happened.
He waited.
That is not what happened.
Don't let the memory queen get in this argument.
We're late for break.
He waited.
Oh, yeah, it's Debbie Pedio over there.
Yeah, he waited till the 3-4 months was done, and then they had a mutual agreement where they just decided not to renew.
And I just looked that on the Worldwide Deb. All right, 407-916-1041. Text us at 77031. Load them up for trivia. We want to give you something, and we'll do that next.
Was that close?
We have a prize. Get on board at 407-916-1041. Jim Colbert Show Trivia is brought to you by Cento Family Moving and Storage. That's CENTO Moving.com.
This is Eric Dickerson. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
One headline that isn't a shocker, the Jets are planning to limit their access to HBO on Hard Knocks. We already know Aaron Rodgers is bothered by it. Doesn't need anybody hovering. The Jets aren't the Raiders, but they have a prickly quarterback, a head coach with a personality on the hot seat, meddling owner in the #1 media market. If you're not careful, New York season might soon be over before it starts. I'm Colin Cowherd.
Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, with 24/7 PC protection against bugs, cracks, and hacks. Plans start as low as $199.99, plus now get up to $250 off select computers. In-store only. Offer ends July 29th. See an associate for details. Protect your tech at Staples.
Man, there's no question when it comes to your health, early detection can save your life. No question about it. When it comes to your long-term health care, you want all the information possible every single time. That is where Life Imaging FLA comes into play with their free heart scan. With Life Imaging FLA, no guessing games, just hard data, real time. That way you can create a healthcare plan that is proactive and not reactive. My body scan from Life Imaging FLA told me a bunch of stuff about myself. Some kidney issues, some diverticulitis issues, some prostate issues. But that allowed me to go right to my primary doctor with that information, which, by the way, which they loved, and say, this is what I need to take care of. They looked at it and they said, you're right. You need to take care of this. And we made the appropriate appointments. That can happen for you as well. And look, man, you don't wait on this stuff. Our buddy Daryl Payne talked about how he found out he had a massive heart issue just by walking up the stairs. And he would have been dead in months had he not found that out. With Life Imaging FLA and their free heart scan, you can find that out way in advance. That way you can tackle that with your doctor and make a plan that keeps you alive as long as possible. And by the way, do what I did. That Life Imaging FLA, that free heart scan, few minimum requirements, that's a $699 value. And while you're there, be sure to ask about their cancer screening as well. And it's easy. Just pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250, say the keyword free heart scan. That's it. Dial pound 250 and say the keyword free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. Don't wait another minute. This could be one of the most important appointments you make, and you'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
These days, there are plenty of things to worry about, but keeping pests out of your home shouldn't be one of them. That's why you need Massey Services. Massey eliminates pests before they get inside. They start by carefully inspecting the inside and outside of your home, and then focus customized treatments on the outside. Best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. That's the Massey difference. Expect more and get it.
Mills Air in business since 1992. That's over 30 years here in Central Florida. They're not going anywhere. Carrier factory authorized dealer. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier. Preventive maintenance on all brands, and that saves you money and can detect an upcoming breakdown. Visit millsair.com.
Applebee's daily deals for $9.99 and under. There's a deal every day for everyone. Just $9.99 and under. That's all day, every day. Get into your local Applebee's now. Daily deals are dine-in only in limited locations listed on nrpneighborhood.com. Limited time only while supplies last. Participation varies.
Ken Jeong. From The Masked Singer, Community, The Hangover Trilogy, and Dr. Ken.
To be hangover rich and famous as an Asian kid, man. My dad went from father to freeloader just like that, you know? You better get me good grades. After the hangover, you better get me S-Class Mercedes.
Ken Jeong Live, October 8th, inside Hard Rock Event Center at Seminole Hard Rock Tampa. Tickets are on sale now. For tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com or HardRockTampa.com. Seminole Hard Rock Tampa.
Don't miss your chance to see Canadian new wave and synth pop band Men Without Hats as they rock the Velvet Session stage at the Hard Rock Hotel at Universal Orlando on Friday, July 28th. Come rock along to their hit songs, including the Safety Dance, Pop Goes the World, and more at Orlando's only rock and roll cocktail party. Tickets are $50 and include free specialty cocktails, finger food, and more. This is a 21 and older event. Visit velvetsessions.com now for more information and to get your tickets before they're gone.
Steve Kramer here with a divorce tip. Inheritance isn't a marital asset unless you handle the money wrong or your divorce wrong. Then you can lose it to your ex. Call Trenley and Kramer, TK Law. We do divorce. OneFirmForLife.com.
Running a small business takes grit and determination and a communications provider that's got your back. That's Spectrum Business. Fast, reliable communication solutions that keep your business going. Get 300 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month when bundled with Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one phone system that lets you work from anywhere on any device. And get a free mobile line for a year. Visit spectrum.com/go faster. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
It's the perfect time to switch to My Plan from Verizon and save. Visit a Verizon store and get iPhone 13 with great features like long battery life on us when you switch to any 5G unlimited plan. No trade-in required. Plus, get $50 off the latest AirPods Pro. This deal won't last forever, so get to your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $699.99, 128 gigabyte only device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited welcome or postpaid unlimited plus plan required. Less $699.99 promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. $50 off AirPods Pro with iPhone purchase required. Additional terms apply.
It pays to listen. Open your free iHeartRadio app and listen to this station to be entered to win $5,000. Each day you come back to listen on the iHeartRadio app is another entry. The more you listen, the more chances you have to win. Download the free iHeartRadio app for access to winning like never before.
That huge data breach from a few weeks ago has probably moved off your radar, but your information could still be on the dark web. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious activity, like someone using your info. If there's a problem, LifeLock's U.S.-based identity restoration specialists will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but LifeLock will help protect your identity long after this breach is forgotten. Save up to 25% your first year. Use promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Packing for your summer road trip? Leave the travel guide at home and bring the Autio app along for the ride. Autio brings any drive to life with fascinating stories about the places you go, all narrated by expert storytellers. Browse through Autio's more than 10,000 fascinating location-based tales to inspire your travel itinerary and discover unique destinations along the way. Wherever summer takes you, make your next drive an adventure with Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at AUTIO.com.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Radio. 104.1. We now return to the Jim Colbert Show.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. 5 o'clock keyword is money. Money. Go to realradio.fm and send that away for your chance at $1,000. Welcome back. I'm Jim. Deb is here. Jack is here as well. And Ross has the sauce jar.
All aboard.
Chugga, chugga.
Choo choo. Clickety clack, clickety clack.
That's right. I have a pair of tickets to see the Goo Goo Dolls at Coachman Park. And that show's going down July 24th. I also have a beautiful pair of tickets to see the first ever Leagues Cup match with Orlando City versus the Houston Dynamo. That's going down this Friday, July 21st.
Ross's birthday.
And that is your Sauce Jar, which is brought to you by
Cento Family Moving and Storage. Got a move coming up? Call them. They can handle it. Local, long distance, residential, or commercial, they've got you covered. Just make sure you mention the Jim Colbert Show because that will get you a discount. So easy to book them today at CentoMoving.com. That's CENTO moving.com. Clickety-clack, back to you.
Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that very much. Who goes first today, buddy?
Let's welcome Jim.
Jim, right there on line 5. Jim, how are you?
Just fantastic.
Buddy, I'm glad to hear that. Would you like to play a little game with us?
Let's do it.
Let's do it indeed.
Want to play a game?
All right, Jimbo, this is a pretty easy game. Got a question here for you. 4 answers. One of them is untrue. If you can sniff that lie out, I'm going to send you over to a pretty cool show or maybe even to an Orlando City soccer match. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. On this day in 1921, that's 1921, former U.S. Senator, aviator, engineer, former U.S. Marine.
John McCain?
First man to orbit Earth.
Oh, my God.
John Glenn.
John Glenn is the
Yeah,
answer.
bravo.
Yeah.
That's why we keep Deb here.
The worldwide Deb.
I
is
know.
killing it again.
Worldwide Deb. I love
That's
know.
right. John Glenn
You
was
stop
born.
it with that wide part.
Here are 3 fun facts about John and 1 weightless lie. Number 1.
Kick your butt.
Ironically, as a child, John was terribly afraid of heights. Number 2. At one point, he was the president of RC Cola. Number 3. After orbiting the Earth, his ticker tape parade in New York left 3,500 tons of paper swept from the streets. Or lastly, he helped create the Department of Veteran Affairs. Which of those is untrue?
Number 4.
No, that's true. Number 4 is
Wow.
true. John Glenn helped create the Department of Veteran Affairs.
It's a shame it took that long.
Yeah, no joke. Who's next, buddy?
Let's welcome Patricio.
Patricio right there on line 4. Patricio, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good, buddy. We're talking about John Glenn here, the astronaut. Number 1, ironically, as a child, he was terribly afraid of heights. Number 2, at one point, he was the president of RC Cola. Or lastly, after orbiting Earth, his ticker tape parade in New York had 3,400 tons of paper swept from the streets.
I got to say the afraid of heights as a child.
Yeah, that's the one, buddy. You're a winner.
Yay!
There you go. I thought it would just be ironic enough to slide through 2 rounds, but it was not. Patricio smelled the lie, and he wins the prize. Enjoy the show or the match, buddy. We appreciate you playing with us. Yeah, you guys remember RC Cola?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know
Royal
what the RC?
Crown.
Yeah, Royal Crown Cola.
Really?
It was the closest thing to Pepsi that was on the market.
I remember that.
And there for a while, we were hot on RC Cola in P-Town.
Were you really?
Yeah, we liked that. It was either that or Orange Fanta.
I only knew it was Royal Crown. I think it was an episode of All in the Family, and the meathead.
Yeah,
Reiner.
Reiner. Yeah, he always talked about Royal Crown soda, and I'm like, oh, that's RC.
Yeah, RC Cola.
I just learned something new.
And then when John Glenn came back from being the first person to orbit Earth, he was not the first person in space, but he was the first person to orbit Earth. The ticker tape parade yielded 3,500 tons of paper.
Wow.
That's how much paper was dropped during that parade. Could you imagine that, though? You know, that era, and knowing that a human being went out in space, went around the world, then came back.
No.
It's just inconceivable, you know? Still weird now, to be honest with you.
Hell, getting in an airplane is weird.
Yeah. A few other things you may not know about John Glenn before we slide over to Ross Thoughts. He has 5 high schools named after him across the U.S. He was married to his childhood sweetheart, Anna Margaret Castor, for how many years?
48.
Oh, that's so close.
52.
Nailed it.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Come on,
Nailed
Jack.
it. It's a dong, dog. What are you doing
That's
over
right,
there?
Jack. Don't
What
be
do you mean, what am I
bag.
doing? I didn't even get to guess, and you're yelling at me for not giving her
Don't sleep
rewards.
on the dong.
Dong her.
Dong her. Robot doctor.
I think you hit the wrong button there, Jack.
Or maybe he didn't. I think his phone just went off. He's officially the robot doctor. He's officially the oldest person to ever orbit Earth at 77 years old.
Oh my God!
And by the way, don't come at me about Shatner. Shatner just went into space at 91 years old. He did not orbit Earth.
Correct.
If you remember, he went back into space in the late 90s
Yeah.
as part of a shuttle crew there.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
Exactly. And
That's
wasn't he also going into space as part of the experiment to see how the space atmosphere would respond, because he was in his 90s. So
he was 77, I think, when he went up.
That was the story they were telling.
Yeah,
I think he just wanted to go for a ride.
I think you're right, too. He's been crazy since the day one.
I would love to see that meeting. Well, we just want to see what it does to old people.
Okay.
And then lastly here, he was a 3-sport letterman in high school.
Whoa.
But really, this guy was a great test pilot. You always hear about Chuck Yeager, but he was one of the first guys I remember flying or being part of the X-15, which was the first rocket-powered plane, I believe. And he was pretty much one of those test pilots that was fearless, along with Yeager. And if not for them and their balls to get in some of these craft, that they were like, hey, this thing may be able to do this. Go check it out. He was one of those guys that really helped us get on the forefront of aviation in the country, and a true American hero, an icon.
Can you imagine what those G's do to a wrinkly skin?
Oh, man.
You look
Smooth
like
it right out.
Oh, yeah, right?
Sharpay with your head out the window.
Natural Botox, dog.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got coming up for thoughts?
I'm going to take a page out of Jack's book for today's Ross Thoughts. Do you guys know about the whole South Korean age law that just changed?
I do. I have heard about that. Like, it was about a month ago or so. I saw some stories, and it says everybody in South Korea is officially a year younger.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
That's the thing.
That's right.
We're not talking about that.
Okay, God almighty. That's the page out of his
God,
book?
Jack, that's how it feels?
Yeah.
That feels great. That felt so good. No, I've got caught twice doing weird things out in public today.
That's all?
Man,
Oh,
are we
today.
allowed to even talk?
Today.
And I have not really soaked in how crazy I have looked throughout my entire life, because just today it hit me like, oh yeah, there's a lot more people on this planet than I thought.
And they all have eyes.
They're always there.
All right, we'll find out what that is next.
Oh, great.
Robot doctor.
Your shot at $1,000 is next. Brought to you locally by Mills Air. If you want a shot at $5,000, make sure you're listening to us on our free iHeartRadio app.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Normal slowdowns continue on I-4 this afternoon in the Orlando area, both east and westbound between Osceola Parkway and 535, as well as between US 27 and the 429. Delays reported downtown, both east and westbound as well, between Anderson Street and Robinson Street. Looking at a good ride up and down the turnpike. If you see traffic problems today, make sure to call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Wawa. Wawa's new rechargers are energy drinks for everyday doers. Whether you're going out or staying in, power through your day with a new handcrafted iced or frozen Wawa recharger. Gotta have a Wawa.
The 2023 Real Radio Texas Hold'em Charity Poker Tournament, presented by InjuredOnTheGo.JustCallMo.com, is now sold out. But don't worry, there's still a way for you to join us Saturday, August 19th at the Orlando Science Center and help us raise money for the mustard seed of Central Florida by joining us in the HomeLoansRadio.com casino. That's right, casino passes are still available, and you can get casino chips, food from Hard Rock Cafe Orlando, access to raffle and silent auction items, and selfie opportunities with all your favorite celebrities and more. Go to realradio.fm/poker for more information.
If you own a business with at least 5 employees and were operational during COVID, then you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund up to $26,000 per employee. This is not a loan, and you do not need to pay this back. Visit governmentaid.com today. Their team of ERC experts will navigate this complex process and file on your behalf. They've helped tens of thousands of businesses obtain billions. Act today. Visit governmentaid.com to see if your business qualifies.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There is no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Orlando, for a no-cost consultation at 407-603-3962. That's 407-603-3962. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
My fellow Americans, R.C. Hill here from R.C. Hill Mitsubishi. I think it's high time we celebrate. to help you relieve stress and start having fun again. It's time to let freedom ride and break free from your old ride and declare your independence in a nicer, newer car for just $7 down. Have you been feeling put down, fed up, or just plain tired? Then it's time to let freedom ride. So keep your cash and drive a new 23 Outlander for just $7 down. All RC Hill Mitsubishis include a lifetime limited warranty. Even if you've heard no in the past, America is a land of opportunity. And I believe everyone deserves to drive a nicer, newer car today. So kick your old ride to the curb and let freedom ride for just $7 down. But hurry, this celebration ends soon. I'm RC Hill, your car dealer next door. Get free at rchill.com. That's rchill.com.
$7 down requires state approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Example, stock number N12354. $7 down, $3.99 per month for 84 months, 3.9 APR.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Baby boomers and retirees, protect yourself from the coming tidal wave of higher taxes. This administration's spend and tax schemes, along with their failed economic policies, are only going to add more to the taxes already being taken of your retirement savings. You can gain retirement tax protection from national talk show wealth strategist and best-selling author Chuck Oliver of The Hidden Wealth Solution. Learn how you can get a head start to be retirement tax smart. Imagine learning proven solutions, saving thousands in unnecessary taxes. Visit retirementprotected.com. Retirementprotected.com.
Just call Mo. Just call Mo. Just call Mo. Just call Mo. Injured on the go. Just call Mo.
Mo DeWitt, Office, Orlando. Sung by an on-attorney spokesperson.
Deals on the McD app are kind of like cool breezes on a hot summer day. You don't know when they're coming, but when they hit, there's nothing quite like them. Save time and get back to summer fun when you order ahead on the app. Pick up a juicy, tender McCrispy, golden fries, and a refreshing Dr. Pepper. It's 30% off your entire order when you spend $5 using mobile order and pay on the McD app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid 6/1/23 through 12/31/23 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Dr. Pepper is a registered trademark of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, Inc.
A meal at McDonald's brings my family closer together. And now that same meal helps bring other families closer together. When we order a family bundle deal that has 40 crispy chicken McNuggets and 2 large fries, McDonald's donates 50 cents to local Florida Ronald McDonald House Charities chapters, providing a home away from home so families can stay close to their child during medical care. We can also round up our order and the extra will get donated. Food, family, and helping others? What could be better? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Cento Family Moving and Storage is Central Florida's trusted source for local and long-distance moving. From packing to delivery, Cento Moving is fully licensed and insured to provide you a seamless moving experience so you can enjoy your new home in no time. Get a quote today at centomoving.com. Forget the stress, move with the best.
The podcast, The Girlfriends, tells the story of Carol and Mindy, 2 women who both dated a man named Bob. On paper, Bob is the total package, a successful plastic surgeon, a pilot. But Carol and Mindy discover that Bob could also be a murderer.
I, in a joking way, say to him, well, what did you do, murder your wife? And his response was, what do you know?
Listen to The Girlfriends on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because you deserve better. Contact them at whenyounneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Real Radio has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, GREEN. 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 Enter it now on our website, realradio.fm. Good luck.
You're listening to The Jim Colbert Show, also available to watch at The Jim Colbert Show on YouTube.
All right, 407-916-1041. Text us 77031. 6 o'clock keyword is green, Green. Go to realradio.fm and send it away for your chance at $1,000. Green is your 6 o'clock keyword. Good luck. Welcome back on. Jim Deb is here.
Hello.
So is Jack.
Hi there.
And Ross has some thoughts.
It's weird.
Persimmon.
It's funny.
Hollow.
Sometimes.
Brewing.
It's Ross.
Pitchy.
Spelled like sauce.
It's a little pitchy, both.
It's Ross Thoughts.
Ross Thoughts is brought to you by Persimmon Hollow Brewing Company. And today we are talking about what's that in your glass? Is that embarrassment? Yes. I look back now at like some of the things that I've done while not like I'm not hurting anybody, but I can only imagine what innocent bystanders are walking by thinking as we're running away or who knows. Example. I didn't really think about what this means when I say this into this microphone on this platform. I've been known to pick a nose. I'll pick a nose.
Oh, man.
I'll pick a nose.
Oh, no.
Man. I saw the greatest part of that in traffic the other day.
Exactly.
A pretty cute girl next to me in a car, just knuckle deep.
Just going to town.
I was like, man, she must have a brain itch.
Yeah. She's.
What is it about our cars where we think people can't see us?
I'll tell you. We feel safe.
Yeah,
That's
you do.
why all of a sudden our organic selves like, let me just take this out of my nose real fast. No one's watching. You're surrounded by people. And we're just rolling the dice every time we go to Nosetown when we're going 70 on I-4.
Oh, man.
You've never gone 70 on I-4.
That is correct.
Yes.
65 and I'm redlining.
Yeah.
All right?
The car's shaking.
Yeah, hopefully that's not like an omen for my life. That's 65. This is it. So I have in the past picked my nose, looked over to the left, been like, they're not looking. They are staring. They're still looking.
And it's never somebody picking their nose and then they wink.
No, it's never that.
Like you're part of the club, I see.
And then it's just this slow, like, hand down below the window.
And then you drive away and they see the Jim Colbert Show
Right,
magnet on the back.
And then you try to mouth that I was just scratching.
I was scratching and just scratching.
It was the outside.
I don't eat them. Don't.
Oh.
Like you're yelling on a highway trying. Oh, no, it's not like that.
That's exactly
I'm off of. I'm over a cold.
Right.
Had a nosebleed. Had another one. This is the two that happened to me literally today.
Just today?
Just today.
So busted picking your nose?
Well, not picking my nose. That's happened in the past.
Oh.
I'm using that as an example.
Is it worse than that?
I don't know.
Were you picking your butt?
No, stop.
It's just like when you feel you're so safe and then you forget that you're so vulnerable when you're really yourself.
Oh, God.
So I was working out today. And,
Where?
At Lake Underhill.
Yeah, he goes through the
that's
parkour
right.
course.
Right. So I'm running around, and whenever I'm really getting it, it's no longer Lake Underhill, it's Lake Overkill.
Oh.
Right?
All right, very good.
Okay. And now, like, I was getting it today. I hit a good run, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do push-ups until I can't do push-ups anymore, which is honestly roughly around like 45. But
Not bad.
I got to like 51 or 52,
Damn.
and that's when my arms gave out, and I was so excited that I turned around and I went, yeah, baby, whoa! Person walking their dog.
Oh. Straight for their gun?
Just like, and they're fearful. I'm yelling. There's also cars driving by. A driver sees me. And that's the person who I'm really looking at when I let out this like war cry smidge of testosterone that I have out of my body. And she, guess what?
Calls 911.
Did not understand. She thought like I was like this weird like.
That was your battle cry.
Yeah, that I was like some weird, old school primate looking dude about to like mug her Honda.
Right.
I'm like charging after a car. I was getting into it. This is the one that made me go, yeah, we're going to talk about this on air for Ross Thoughts today. how often do you pull up into this parking lot, right? And you're one of your favorite songs is being played, and you're like, nah, I gotta finish this track before I step in.
Dude, totally there with you.
Right? And then what happens? We are so ourselves. We're so safe. We're in our car. We're listening to our favorite song. We're like, this was the song that I was listening to right here, right? So I'm in the parking lot, and it's...
Oh, man.
That ain't it.
I was going to say.
No. It's
Ross.
Wait. It's
Same band, though.
It's so epic. It's so epic. So I'm in the parking lot, and this is what I'm hearing. It's M83's outro. It's just an outro song on their album. I'm like, oh, man, let me just soak this in. And I am blaring it in my car. It is as loud as I can get it without me feeling physical pain. And I have my eyes closed. And I'm letting this ethereal music, like, take over my body. And then all of a sudden, I open up my eyes. And do you know downstairs there's, like, an autistic center?
Oh, man, there is.
Right? Homie is staring at me, thinking that I died like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
And he is...
Robot doctor!
Yeah, he is genuinely concerned for me. And I
that didn't help.
Because it's also jarring to see somebody staring at you with your eyes closed.
And then you having a fake seizure, of course, like Deb said, does not help.
Yeah, like I panicked. It's weird. I thought I was like, maybe that's the Grim Reaper. Maybe this is it.
Oh, man, could you imagine?
Well, you open up your eyes after closing them for like roughly 90 seconds by yourself in a parking lot, and you wake up and you see an oversized JanSport staring at you. It was definitely it jumped me a little bit.
Wow, the Grim Reaper's really good at math.
Yeah, it was just so...
But not social skills.
And just all those times, I can't stop thinking about, like, all of my early 20s of, like, dumb things, and just what... Now I wonder what people must have thought of... Because maybe it's me being selfish where I didn't care too much, but I feel like... You remember what I told you earlier this week? This whole life thing for me is all about balance.
Yeah.
There is a balance that you should care a little bit what people think about you. Not all of it, but like a smidge.
And even with the strangers, it's weird because you almost want to make a better impression on a stranger than the people who know you. Like if it was one of your boys who saw you, it wouldn't be a big deal at all.
He's roaring with me.
Right. Or even in traffic, one of your boys sees you picking your nose, or maybe even your wife, you're just like, you kind of laugh it off. But strangers, for some reason, you don't want that to be your first impression.
Oh, man, because that's the only impression you're ever going to have with that person.
Like,
that's exactly it.
They're going to be telling that story at dinner tonight.
No, not at dinner.
I was in traffic.
Not at dinner.
I was in traffic, and I saw Ellen DeGeneres' crackhead brother
just going
picking his nose with all of his fingers.
But that has to be it. It weighs more with strangers in the light that it's our first impression and our last impression.
Never going to see that person again.
Again.
That's the only thing they know of you is that you jam your finger in your nose.
And if you ever did, if you establish a relationship, it'll always be your origin story.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If you wind up meeting that guy at the gym the next day, hey,
nose picker.
No high fives from you, big dog.
And like, it makes me, like, I wish people would catch me, like, doing stuff that's cool, right. Out in the public. But then maybe I'm not that cool of a person at times when I'm by myself. Who's that cool when they're just like...
Nobody's cool by themselves, dude. Nobody does cool stuff by themselves, my God.
See, I want to go out in the general public, and I want to put on, like, a little cool fur coat, and have everyone
There's nothing cool about fur.
You want a Macklemore?
And this guy's like, wow, he's got taste. What is that in his hand? Is that a Persimmon Hollow beer? It is. Perceive me, strangers, as cool because I have great taste. Drink Persimmon Hollow beer. Please do. Their blood orange wheat right now is the summer beer. I'm going to keep saying it. If it's at night, may I suggest the Southbound Hiker New England IPA. They have the Three Wise Guys Porter. They have all of the beer that you could ever want. Andy and Robbie, the two minds, the two brains behind Persimmon Hollow Brewing, they're just passionate about the beer that they are making. You can taste how much here that they give a damn. So visit Persimmon Hollow at any of their 5 locations so you can enjoy passionately crafted beers yourself. So enjoy a Persimmon Hollow beer. You won't regret it. Drink sensibly, but get weird. And visit them at PHNX hbeer.com. Those are your Ross thoughts. I'm out. Peace.
Thank you, buddy. 407-916-1041. Back in a sec with more of the Jim Colbert Show.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7. It's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by Gringos Locos and Secured Roofing and Restoration.com. At 9 p.m., it's Real Laughs with comedians James, Miguel, Mike, and Ken. And Real Music starts tonight at 10 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Looking at heavy traffic on I-4 now in the Orlando area. This is due to a crash blocking 2 lanes westbound between Central Florida Parkway and 535. Another incident reported northbound on Florida's Turnpike has the road backed up for several miles. The left lane is blocked by police presence near State Road 50 and the Oakland Exchange exit. If you see other traffic problems today, call the Safe Touch Security Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. With traffic, I'm Samantha Canning.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 deal. Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
This earful of Real Radio is brought to you by Tools Ace Hardware.
Get your tickets now
At AXS.com.
for our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Having the time of your life is more rewarding than ever when you visit any MGM Rewards destination nationwide. Dine, stay, play, and earn on all of it. Details at MGMRewards.com. Subject to earning and redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
It's the perfect time to switch to My Plan from Verizon and save. Visit a Verizon store and get iPhone 13 with great features like long battery life on us when you switch to any 5G unlimited plan. No trade-in required. Plus, get $50 off the latest AirPods Pro. This deal won't last forever, so get to your Verizon store today. It's your Verizon. $699.99, 128 gigabyte only. Device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited welcome or postpaid unlimited plus plan required. Less $699.99 promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. $50 off AirPods Pro with iPhone purchase required. Additional terms apply.
Packing for your summer road trip? Leave the travel guide at home and bring the Autio app along for the ride. Autio brings any drive to life with fascinating stories about the places you go, all narrated by expert storytellers. Browse through Autio's more than 10,000 fascinating location-based tales to inspire your travel itinerary and discover unique destinations along the way. Wherever summer takes you, make your next drive an adventure with Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
Baby boomers and retirees, protect yourself from the coming tidal wave of higher taxes. This administration's spend and tax schemes, along with their failed economic policies, are only going to add more to the taxes already being taken of your retirement savings. You can gain retirement tax protection from national talk show wealth strategist and best-selling author Chuck Oliver of The Hidden Wealth Solution. Learn how you can get a head start to be retirement tax smart. Imagine learning proven solutions, saving thousands in unnecessary taxes. Visit retirementprotected.com. Retirementprotected.com.
Enrique turns around, rips a shot. Oh, he scores! Oh, that's an outstanding goal!
Orlando City is back at home this week as the Lions take on Houston in the first match of our Leagues Cup group stage on Friday, July 21st at 8 p.m. Tune in on FM 96.9 The Game and watch on any device on the Apple TV app. Don't forget to tune in an hour before the match at 7 p.m. to catch Kickoff Minus 60, airing exclusively on the Lion Nation app.
Backup systems. We depend on them. Even your household budget has one. And Scott Cash Advance. Up to $500 fast with no credit check. Many locations open 24/7. Some restrictions apply, subject to approval.
Hey everybody, Jim here for Life Imaging FLA. Just talking to my buddy Daryl Payne from Pawfection Dog Training about his quadruple bypass the other day. Just let me know even more how important Life Imaging FLA and their free heart scan can be to you. Imagine knowing years in advance that you could have heart problems that could cause you sudden death. That's what Life Imaging FLA is all about. Proactive health care for long-term life. Make Make sure that you can enjoy as many summers as possible. Life Imaging FLA's free heart scan can do that for you. My own experience with Life Imaging FLA scans has been insane. I now know of at least 3 issues to take care of to make sure that I don't deal with bigger problems in the future. Believe it or not, 1 out of 3 people in the U.S. will die of heart disease, and in 30 to 40% of those cases, the very first symptom is sudden death. Those are just a couple of reasons you need to get that free heart scan from Life Imaging FLA. Just a few minimum requirements, but that's a $699 value. And it's easy. Just pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250, and say the keyword free heart scan. That's pound 250, say the keyword free heart scan, and you'll be connected in seconds. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
It happens every day. Regular people are winning every single day. Whether it's $500 or $50,000, anybody can win. Because when they win, I feel like I'm winning.
Hi, my name is Kong. I won over $100,000 playing Baccarat. You can pick banker or player. If you pick the right side, the odds in your favor.
My name is Janelle, and I won a brand new BMW. I screamed, I hollered.
Anybody could win at Seminole Hard Rock, Tampa.
Must be 21 to play slots or table games. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
These days, more often than not, the success of a company is attributed to its founder. But that's only part of the story. My name is Noah Callahan Bever, and I'm proud to present Idea Generation's All Angles, a Will Packer Media podcast. We'll be talking to all the key players from all your favorite brands like Loud Records, Ghetto Gastro, and Earn Your Leisure. So join me each week as we dissect the most dynamic companies in culture, because the only way to truly understand success is to look at it from all angles. Listen to Idea Generation's All Angles on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of programming brought to you in part by FAS Windows and Doors. The Jim Colbert Show returns now on Real Radio 104.1.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning.
All right, welcome back to the Jim Colbert Show, Real Radio 104.1. 6 o'clock keyword is green, GREEN. Go to realradio.fm, send it off. Maybe you can win that $1,000.
Oh, and if you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, they're giving you a chance to win an extra $5,000.
You bet your ass.
Thank you.
All right, 407-916-1041.
Hey, for 6 G's, I could buy an ass.
Don't forget, tomorrow at 5:20, no Scott Maxwell, but we have Kevin Spears coming in from the Orlando Sentinel, or zooming in from the Orlando Sentinel, to talk about the contamination issue out in Seminole County. The water has a problem. There's a chemical that's been in the ground out there for years. We're just learning about. These are the guys who investigated and broke this story. We'll talk to Kevin tomorrow to find out what you have to look for there in Seminole County and what's going to happen with the entire situation.
And what you can even do, because now it's reached the Floridan Aquifer.
Exactly. All right, 407-916-1041. I'm Jim. Deb, Jack, and Ross are here as well. What do you guys think upcycling is?
Upcycling.
Well,
you're trading in, but you're getting something better.
Okay, that's one. What do you think, Ross? What is upcycling?
It's like shorting a stock, but instead of a stock, it's like a thrift.
Okay, very good. What do you think, Deb? Upcycling.
I have a second guess if you want me to stall for time.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so, like, if you get something and you fix it up and make it better, like at a thrift store or something.
Okay, all right.
That's what I was going to say. Specifically with clothing.
Okay, with clothing.
With clothing,
Okay.
upcycling clothing.
It's not. It has to do with food. Upcycling is a food term. Here's the deal. So at a little place called Tyler Malik's Ice Cream Parlor, which is, I guess, over there in Los Gatos, California, the head ice cream maker at the Portland, Oregon-based Salt and Straw uses whey leftover from yogurt makers in upstate New York to make his lemon curd flavor. For his chocolate barley milk, he mixes in the remnants of rice and grains from beer brewing to give it a light and creamy taste. And instead of calling this food waste, we need to call it wasted food and start decreasing it, because upcycling is using the food waste in production to create other food products.
What a great idea.
And that is why they are starting to do upcycling. It's becoming a big thing. How much of our food do you think goes to waste? What percentage?
40%.
30. Okay, just real quick. 35 metric tons of food are wasted every year in the U.S., which represents about,
I was going to say 35%.
And
I was 40%.
40. I'm going to go 43.
Dong yourself, Jack.
Whoa!
You nailed it. 40.
Wish I could.
Think about that, guys. Think about that.
Every man has said that.
40% of all the food produced in this country goes to waste. That's almost half of what is grown or produced for U.S. consumers goes into the trash can.
Yes.
It's the biggest. Oh, I hate it so much.
It's obscene.
It is obscene.
It really is for the need. We have a distribution problem.
Yes,
right?
we do.
We have a lot of
the
it.
food is there and people need it, and then what really kills me, I understand there's natural waste that it's really hard to avoid. You really have to work at it. But when we have leftovers that don't get eaten and then you just have to throw them away.
And I'm a leftover monster.
Oh,
I'm telling you straight up.
That hurts me.
I had to call my wife. We have leftovers from a restaurant the other day. And when my wife says, this is my lunch tomorrow. It's hands off. I don't know about you guys. You guys have that kind of rule in your house?
Yeah.
Like once somebody calls these leftovers, it's like if she put it in the fridge and didn't say, hey, I plan on eating that tomorrow, that's free game. But she said, I'm going to eat that tomorrow. So she left home and left it at the house. So I texted her and I said, are you going to eat this? And she said, no. And man, I could not have been happier. I love leftovers. I love leftovers. So this ice cream chain is actually among a number of businesses at the forefront of the upcycling movement. This is a process of creating high-quality products from leftover food. Now, another thing they do, by the way, this is happening from Pacific Northwest all the way to Miami. They have a thing called cocoa pulp and chocolate. Oh, man.
Oh, come on.
Hell yeah.
Stracciatella?
Ooh.
Jack, you should know that. You were around way more Italians.
You were very close. Try it again.
What? Do you know what it is? Stracciatella?
No idea.
Stracciatella?
Stracciatella?
Gelato. It's a gelato.
Oh.
And it's made from...
Let's give it to one of you.
It's made from leftover cocoa pulp made from chocolate, like chocolate production. So when they take the cocoa pulps and they get all the chocolate out of it, that would usually just go to waste, or sometimes it would go to pig farms and stuff like that. But what they're like, wow, we could still use that. It still has flavor in it. And they're using that cocoa pulp or cacao pulp to make chocolate ice cream or chocolate gelato, which I found pretty interesting. And they're actually doing it with other stuff as well. The other thing, too, is the ugly food thing we've talked about before.
Yeah.
So when they go and find out they're like ugly mushrooms or peppers that are misshapen or even strawberries that were picked before they were ripe, so they're white, that they take those foods now, or they take those products instead of going to waste, and they're getting them and making, like, there's a pizza restaurant, and this pizza restaurant uses all of those ugly foods on his pies. And he names them, like, after the pies, like the ugly food pies.
That's awesome.
And they have a thing. So if you look on food and it has the salt and straw thing, or there's a logo they have. The Upcycled Food Association, which will celebrate World Upcycling Day on Saturday, issues an official upcycling certified seal to qualified products. The seal is adorned with the new salt and straw upcycled flavors, and it raises awareness to consumers that, hey, man, we waste a lot of food in this country, which is crazy considering that people go hungry in this country.
Apparently, we have a salt and straw right there at Disney Springs.
Yeah. Do we really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
I went to the original Portland one. It's pretty good.
Really?
Believe the hype.
The association has got about 30 products as of 2021. They're now carrying 450 under this one label. A lot of the food that is uneaten or thrown away in our supply chain is actually due to archaic cosmetic standards.
It's just like the whole ugly fruit thing. I know that there's a delivery service that will specifically mail you ugly fruits and vegetables, which is a great way of keeping them out of the landfill because they still taste good.
I'll eat chode mushrooms. I don't care. Maybe some chode shrooms.
It says also featured on products made by Renewal Mill, which is an Oakland-based company turning byproducts from plant-based milk into pantry staples like baking flour to reduce waste at the manufacturing level. So in other words, when they make the plant-based milks, whether it be your oat milk or give me some other soy milk,
almond.
So they take those leftover products and they grind them and dry them and turn them into flours. And then they take that flour and they make pre-made cake and cookie mixes and sell it as food that you can buy that was produced from food that was going to be thrown away, which I found very cool.
Yeah, no, this is all great news. I hope it catches. I hope it's a thing. And also just to circle in what we were talking about earlier about, local government city buildings going into that
Right.
mall. This is how it starts, at least to me, is that starts a trickle-down movement when the people who run the city are also being resourceful.
Yeah. Well, look at
that's going to leak out to not just them.
Look at the country and how we're talking. Like, we talk about the thrifting thing. Like, my wife's little side hustle now is destroying. I mean, it is doing really well, right? So we go into these thrift stores, we go into estate sales, we go to garage sales, we find stuff that's been used, and we resell it. Rather than it going into a landfill or being wasted or not being used at all, it's going back into the market. And that's a major thing right now. So I believe you're right. Like, the idea of recycling buildings or using them for things that they're not even really built for, and possibly even government buildings like the Oviedo Mall, maybe other malls. I think even the Palaca Mall definitely has that. That would trickle down into other parts of your life.
I mean, those are two massive aspects that we've brought up when it comes to recycling in everybody's everyday life.
And by the way, I don't know if did you have anything from the Salt and Straw when you were there?
Yeah.
What'd you have by
I had like a peanut butter chocolate thing.
Yeah. Did it taste normal?
Yeah.
So
it tastes like elite ice cream.
So that flour that I was just talking about, also the first product they said was made over from making soy milk. So they made one of those flours for making soy milk. They turned that into a high fiber, gluten-free flour called Okara flour, Okara. And then they make that into baking mixes and ready-to-eat cookies. And the Salt and Straw apparently has a new cookie called the Salted Caramel and Okara cupcake. So you can buy that mix, and that mix, everything in that mix is basically from recycled food manufacturing products. The flour is made from leftover soybeans, dried out, then ground up into a flour, and then made into a mix where you can make cupcakes and not waste any food whatsoever.
Little tip too, if you are going out to Salt and Straw, it is like a store policy that you can skip the line, go to the fridge, buy a pint, and then just take it instead of waiting for the super long line.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out
I think
there.
Kelly's does that as well.
Yeah.
I think Kelly's Ice Cream does that.
Sometimes those lines get long, and you're like, I just want something to go.
It says there's another place, this place called Shuggy's Trash Pie.
What up, Shuggy?
Shuggy's Trash Pie, and what they do is they take parts of, let's say, animals that aren't necessarily used for production, like beef heart. Now, I think in Peru and some South American nations, I know Peru for sure, beef heart is like a delicacy. That's what they eat that a lot. Those organ meats, they eat them a lot. It's the way they prepare them. And I've had it. And it just tastes like a kind of an irony steak is what it kind of tastes like. It has that little sharp iron flavor to it, you would expect,
Like when you eat liver?
Exactly. But what they do is they grind those beef hearts up and they make meatballs out of them. And they serve the meatballs. And he said most of the people just see meatball. They don't even consider the fact that it's made of beef heart. And it turns out that a lot of people in the restaurant go, that's like the best meatball I've ever had. And it's made out of a piece of the cow that would normally not get used for production of food in this nature, which I find kind of cool.
Resource, recycle, reuse, baby.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
I would try that in 5 seconds. I love this idea. I think
beef heart pie?
I think it's cool. Here's the thing. I would try meatball because it's got some other stuff in there. If you just cook me a piece of beef heart, I would try it. I don't know if I'd sit down and with my fork and my knife, like I was waiting for, a prime steak to be put down.
I mean, everything has a balance. I'm sure that there is a line for this, though. You want to keep a hearty eye on this whole movement.
Yeah.
Because it could go south if it's not done properly, but it's there. That makes sense. That's kind of what we need.
Yeah, kind of funny, man. And the other thing I want to talk about here at the end of the show is this. There was a UFC fight 2 weeks ago, right? It was and one of the interesting things, it was in Las Vegas, all right? And President Trump, or former President Trump, was in the audience.
Chilling.
Right? So he's a president, right? He was a former president. I don't care how you feel about what he is or what kind of person he is or anything like that. He was a former president, all right? And a number of people, including like Guy Fieri and other people like that, were walking up and shaking hands. Joe Rogan, of course. And, a number of the fighters came out of the ring to shake his hand and say hi. And Jack White from the White Stripes got on Twitter the next day and put those people on blast. I mean, put them on blast, like called them junk pieces of S, and just really, how are you associating it? I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about that? And I got accused of this once. There was a former employee of this radio station that did something that pretty much, alienated him from everybody, everywhere, everybody that worked here, right? It was pretty bad.
Uh-huh.
It was back in the day, got a lot of news coverage, continued to get a lot of news coverage. And I was at a Magic game, and I was sitting there with a former employee that he used to work with, right? And the guy comes down the aisle, sees me sitting there, steps right in front of me and sticks his hand out to shake my hand. And I shook his hand. I said, how you doing? Doing great. Good to see you. Move on. That other employee that he used to work with literally was outraged that I would shake this guy's hand. I was like, well, he stuck his hand in I'm not going to not shake his hand. He didn't do anything to me. It's just like, I don't want to be around it because it's bad news for everybody. But what do you guys feel about that? Can you see the fact that this guy's a former president and that somebody would want to shake his hand because of the office he held and would look beyond all of the things that maybe that they don't agree with him? I mean, could you see that? Do you think somebody needs to be called out for something like that?
No, there's a bunch of questions right there. The first one of, no, you should not let people live. That is a silly and childish moment, right? From Jack White.
I thought that was really kind of a strike on him to me, man. I was like, man, that's really kind of juvenile.
Well, it's just spreading more negativity than positivity, and I think it's a net loss overall. And it took me several months of doing probably, or at least things close to that, for me to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Because I think I've always looked at, I look at politics now a lot like hair.
Okay.
Now, Jim, I'm sure, whatever, I'm not even making a hair joke here.
Okay.
But what I am saying, sometimes you have good hair days and sometimes you have bad hair days.
Yeah.
And it's kind of at times feels like it's out of your control. I think he had a bad politic day because I think all of us, sometimes we wake up on a Wednesday and we read the news and we look at the politics and it can get to us. It's not every day.
Yeah.
But I try not to let politics, leapfrog all of my friends and family.
Right.
If I'm not yelling on Twitter how much I love my wife, then I'm not yelling on Twitter about why would you vote for that guy.
Right, exactly. Well, he was at the T-Mobile Arena, right? He chatted with Mel Gibson was there. He walked up. Mel Gibson said hi. He has his own issues. Mark Wahlberg, though, he walked up and said hi. Guy Fieri, Roger Stone was there, a longtime friend. And other people were walking up. A number of the fighters were walking up. And for some reason, Jack White felt it necessary to call out every single person who walked up and just shook a former president's hand. And for the life of me, I don't agree with almost anything this guy does or says. But, he's a former president. If he was in the room, I would probably shake his hand, and I would probably say hi. Again, I could separate those two worlds and say that guy was the leader of our country for a while. I don't know about you guys.
Well,
Jack, would you have that? Would you have a problem shaking his hand?
Well, it really depends on the situation. I'm not going out of my way to say, oh, I want to go shake his hand. But I'm also not going to be rude.
Right.
There's the office does carry a certain amount of decorum, even for former presidents. And people might make the argument that, he doesn't deserve that title. But nevertheless, he has that title.
Yeah. The country elected him to president.
And there are plenty of people who do still like and love that person.
Oh, plenty of them. Yeah.
So to call those people out for shaking their hand or trying to shame those other celebrities who did that is, I think, wrong on the face of that. But I wouldn't go out of my way to do it, but I'm not going to run away from it either.
When they showed him on camera, the Buffalo Wild Wings I was at erupted.
Yeah.
Like when they showed him on camera. The place literally came unglued. Deb, how do you feel about that?
I wouldn't go out of my way.
Same type thing?
Yeah.
Like if we were in the office and we were doing our job here and then somebody said, oh my God, President Trump is in the building and he's here to meet with somebody or whatever, he's going to walk around and say hi. If he walked into the studio right now, I'm not going to say, hey, dude, shut the door. I'm doing a show. I would stop what I'm doing and I'm shake his hand because he's a former president of the United States.
You would say that if it was Larry, though.
Yeah, if it was Larry, I'd scream at him and throw something overhand at him.
Yeah.
And I get the idea of not liking him. That's the whole thing. But there's a certain human decorum that you have to have. And I agree with you 100%. You have to rise above all that noise and just be, and be a good person, because I think it reflects poorly on you. Like, nobody's looking at Donald Trump any less this day. They're looking at Jack White and they're going, wow, man, what a douche move. How about you live your life and let other people live their lives?
That's the shame.
And stop trying to call people out for the way they live their life or roll. Nobody's looking at you and saying, well, maybe you shouldn't do this, or maybe you shouldn't do that, or who do you hang out with?
It's almost like a reminiscent. It's almost like a perfect debate to me. Remember when Trump went on the Tonight Show?
I mean,
and there was a controversy.
Jimmy Fallon
ruffled his hair.
Oh yeah.
And the conversation that happened after that, I thought was very interesting. And I am not one of these people, but there are so many people that were upset with that because they looked at him back then and went, this man is dangerous. There are a lot of people, as much as that love him, it's not even like, oh, I don't like him. There are a lot of people, especially because of Jan 6, that are convinced that this is dangerous, and why aren't we taking this seriously, a la Fallon rubbing his head,
right?
A la him at UFC and everyone shaking his hand.
Right.
And I would probably put Jack White in that category where he's looking and screaming at the world, why isn't anyone taking this serious?
And the funny thing is 100% I agree, but if they brought in the CEO of Dow Chemical,
yeah,
or if they brought in somebody who had who led a company that caused considerably more human damage,
Sacklers,
whatever the case may be, the Sacklers, right, from
the opioid,
from
Purdue Pharma,
right. And if they brought them in here, you're like, oh, here's a great business leader. Like, what's he do? Well, it's Purdue Pharma. I'm like, what? Now, see, that's somebody you'd have to kind of think about a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But that's also somebody that the average person would not know.
Say no. What are you looking at me for?
Why?
Like, would I shake the hand of the person who ran Purdue Pharma? Is that what you're saying?
No, but you wouldn't, right?
I would not. No, because those people are malicious a-holes who have cost people lives, and they did it maliciously.
But the thing is that
and they didn't hold the presidency.
But they bought their likability. They were powerful. They put their names on every library that they could.
Yeah.
Every monument, every artifact. They threw their name. They bought their likability, and they shook a lot of hands.
Yeah, and they shook and they donated to a lot of campaigns.
Yeah.
407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Load them up for last call. We have 5 lines open. A little callback, a little joke, something fun. It's your turn to do the show. We'll do that next here on the Jim Colbert Show.
Real radio is the news junkie.
A technology mogul has been branded a creep after he claims to have offered a woman $100,000 to do what on a flight? Oops. What do you think?
Join the Mile High Club.
Go a little more controversial than this.
Join the Mile High Club in blackface.
No.
News Junkie. Weekdays at 11 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Rude Air Conditioning Weather Center, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner with your Fox 35 Central Florida forecast. And this is the week that we realized summer is here. Now, I know it's been hot for months, but this week is going to be one of those weeks. Highs in the mid-90s every day, feeling like it's over 105. It's just a matter of when it's going to rain, not if, for most of these days. This evening, storms end early, the low 75. Tomorrow, the high 94, a 50-50 chance for rain, a 60% chance for Thursday and Friday. Friday, the hottest of the week. For the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Brooks Garner.
This report is sponsored by Wawa. Wawa's new rechargers are energy drinks for everyday doers. Whether you're going out or staying in, power through your day with a new handcrafted iced or frozen Wawa recharger. Gotta have a Wawa.
Guys, here in Central Florida, you heard it. It is hot and getting hotter every day. And let me tell you, it is not going to let up for a couple of months. So you need to prepare yourself accordingly. If your AC is teetering on the edge of maybe giving up the ghost, Mills Air. Remember that. Mills Air. And here's why. These guys go above and beyond on every single call. Whether it's just a preventive maintenance call or an entire system switch out, you're going to get the same exact service. You're going to get courteous people who come to do the job. You're going to get a great price, and you're going to get an unbelievable install with integrity. That's how Leon Mills has been running this company for 30 plus years. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of how good they are at this and what good people they are. Their techs can service any brand. Don't worry about what kind of AC you have. Matter of fact, if you happen to need a new one, they're Carrier factory authorized dealers. That could get you up to $1,275 in rebates towards that brand new Carrier unit. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier and certainly turn to family-owned and operated Mills Air. Call these guys today. It's 407-277-1159. Find them online at millsair.com.
Slowed down, held back, inhibited. What you get out depends on what you put in. Rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, because true performance knows no bounds. New and improved Shell V-Power Nitro Plus removes up to 100% of performance-robbing deposits to rejuvenate your engine's performance. Continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
If you own a business with at least 5 employees and were operational during COVID, then you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund up to $26,000 per employee. This is not a loan, and you do not need to pay this back. Visit governmentaid.com today. Their team of ERC experts will navigate this complex process and file on your behalf. They've helped tens of thousands of businesses obtain billions. Act today. Visit governmentaid.com to see if your business qualifies.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Deciding where to bank is no small task. It's a matter of trust, confidence, and benefits. The more the merrier. At Addition Financial Credit Union, we're all about more. More challenges overcome. More financial knowledge gained. More empowering you to reach your long-term financial goals. That's because we're more than just a bank. We're your financial partner, and we'll be with you every step of the way. Count us in at AdditionFI.com. That's AdditionFI.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
When it comes to $1 small Slurpee drinks at 7-Eleven, no one's doing it like you. You're inventing new flavor combos, throwing caution to the wind. You're a frozen fizz whiz, a pina colada prodigy. You mix cherry and blue raspberry like a pro. Only you know the perfect ratio. Just when they think you're done, you add a splash of summertime citrus, just because you can. And because your small Slurpee drink masterpiece is just $1 at 7-Eleven. Slurpee, anything flows. Expires 12/31/2023 plus tax. Visit store for details.
Do you have information about a violent crime? Help solve crimes with your anonymous tips at crimeline.org. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your tips make a difference. Say it here. It's anonymous at crimeline.org. Paid by CSTF.
After an accident, it's important to hire an attorney right away. Evidence can disappear quickly. Sure, you could wait to hire an attorney later and see how things turn out, but delays never make a case better. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. JustCallMo.com. Mo DeWitt, Orlando's injury attorney.
Running a small business takes grit and determination, and a communications provider that's got your back. That's Spectrum Business. Fast, reliable communication solutions that keep your business going. Get 300 megabits per second internet, just $49.99 a month when bundled with Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one phone system that lets you work from anywhere on any device, and get a free mobile line for a year. Visit spectrum.com/go faster. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Car crash? Call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Jim Colbert Show returns now on Real Radio 104.1.
Good after morning, Colbert crew. And as for your car being your safe spot, mine is my safe spot. And you know why? Because I have the darkest tint you can legally have. So anytime I go looking for some booger sugar, well, no one else ain't looking. So with that, Big T out.
Does Big T understand the booger sugar?
I don't think he understands the term booger sugar.
You may want to.
I'm Colombian. Let me help him out.
You may want to Google that, bub. Don't tell anybody you're doing booger sugar in your car.
Maybe he is. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why he needs that darkest tint.
All right, we have two lines open, 407-916-1041. Two lines open. Remember, just call back a little joke, something fun, make us laugh. It's on you for the last 4 minutes of the show. We call it last call, and you can be part of it. We do have two lines open, 407-916-1041. Welcome back on. Jim, Deb, and Jack and Ross are all here as well. We'll get to the last call here in just a few minutes, guys. Tomorrow's going to be a good show, again, to promote Kevin Spears being here tomorrow from the Orlando Sentinel, talking about the contamination of Seminole County's water source there. I guess there are two big wells that we pull the water off in Seminole County. It's nearing one, I guess. The plume is pretty ridiculous, starting in Lake Mary, moving all the way through Sanford. Jack, are you affected in Winter Springs? Do you know?
I am not, but we'll get more detail, and that's why I'm glad we'll have someone on who's been researching this for 6 months or more, but with a career in looking into these types of things, because there are a lot of questions when I read that. It's like, well, literally, water's fluid.
That's right.
This moves around.
Right.
So how are the surrounding areas? How safe are they? And when it says Lake Mary, Sanford, and then Seminole County, what parts of Seminole County?
Right.
And he has more specifics on exactly the region. They say reverse osmosis is the only water filtration system that the homeowner can use to protect themselves.
I would hate it that Siemens would have to buy everybody in Seminole County a reverse osmosis system, huh?
Yeah. And so, obviously, there's a legal side to this where they're saying, well, wait, are you sure it's us? How can you prove it's us? That, so that's going on.
Hit him with the third grade logic.
Prove it. Yeah, Siemens is,
I know you are, but what are me?
Yeah, you're right. The decades.
What am I?
Decades Siemens was operating there, but then it was for the past 20 years where government officials were aware, and, we just became aware thanks to this Sentinel story, but,
that could be criminal because it's cancer causing. It's a known carcinogen to humans.
Well, it's got a really healthy name. What is it called?
1,4-dioxane.
Yeah. That's what I sprinkle on my cereal in the morning.
Yeah, that's right next to Kashi at Publix.
That's part of the reason why former Siemens and General Dynamics, I think, was the company that had the building before Siemens had bought it. They're not allowed to talk about it because of the NDA that they had signed from their class action lawsuit because of the cancer cases.
Yeah.
That they say that they... the Siemens, and that's the story that I think needs to be touched on next because, like I said, it's already in the Floridan aquifer.
Where's Erin Brockovich when you need her?
I thought of that. I thought
that's basically exactly what this is, PG&E, right?
I hope these guys win an Emmy for this reporting series because this is exactly the kind of stuff that Erin Brockovich did. It ended up with a Hollywood movie about it.
Sure did. Of course, we'll have Kevin Spears. We'll have Animal House in tomorrow, Kathy Burns, and our friend...
Sally Edmonds.
Sally Edmonds are going to be in from...
the Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando, along with a pooch that's available for adoption.
Very good. Plus, we'll have LT in tomorrow to talk a little bit about Hard Rock Live and bringing us that messy sandwich as well.
The messy chicken sandwich. Wow. What a great... For Hard Rock, for them to have that affiliation with Messy. It's
years old. It's years old. They've had this partnership for years.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Because they had the messy burger in the past. Yeah. Now it's the messy chicken sandwich tomorrow.
All right, Deb, who do we have to thank today?
We want to thank personal injury attorney Glenn Klausman of Klausman Law for bringing us What'd You Do That's New. You can follow along with the master list at JimColbertLive.com. And last but never least, Sam Bowen and Candace Rich for running our YouTube chat.
Thanks, Deb. Question of the day?
Yeah, we did. It was, when was the last time you were in a shopping mall? Gave you three choices. Was it the past month? 1 to 6 months or longer? Where do you think?
I think longer has more than half of the votes.
Yeah, December was over 6 months.
So you are right. Longer is about 50 to 55% in all three of our polls on different social networks. And then, it's kind of evenly split between the past month and 1 to 6 months.
Wow. Yeah, that's about right. Raw stand-up?
Yes, next week I'm going to be out in Nashville at Zany's Comedy Club. It's I'll be real, it's kind of a big deal, and I'm here for it. So next week, 26th, 27th, I'll be out there.
Very good. All right, let's get to it right now. Let's go to Big T. Last call.
Hey, I just wanted to call real quick and confirm that I know exactly what
Ivanhoe Dave, last call.
You know, Jim, since we're best friends, I just wanted to reach out to you for some advice because you're a foodie, I'm a foodie. Have you ever been out to Port Orleans Resort at Disney?
I have, but I've never eaten there.
Okay. Well, I'm on my way to Boatwright's Dining Hall, and I guess it's a Cajun place, and I think I'm going to go for the black and prime rib. I just didn't know if you'd eaten there because I was going to get your advice on that.
No, black and prime rib is one of my favorite ways to eat beef, by the way, but you have to get something traditional. You have to get gumbo or etouffee as well, okay? And beignets. You have to do those three things have to happen.
I swear.
Well, I'll grab a shrimp or something.
Okay, buddy.
I
Thanks.
swear I thought he said he was going to get the Palatkin prime rib.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's different.
Yeah.
Black and prime rib is actually a hamburger.
You want to see a steak with a mullet?
Party mom, last call.
Stupid dad joke for the night.
Sure.
How does NASA plan a party?
I don't know. How does NASA plan a party?
They plan it.
Oh. Should have seen that one coming, but I did not because I'm dumb. Mike Larson, take us home. Last call.
Mike Buzzer Larson here. I just read a medical report, Jim, stating vodka and ice is bad for your kidneys, rum and ice is bad for your liver, whiskey and ice is bad for your heart. This medical report is startling. You know what I think, Jim?
What's that, buddy?
I'm cutting out ice.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Good job, buddy.
That was the most distorted Jack Shaw give me the buzzer. That was awful.
All right,
that was good. I like it.
A big day tomorrow. Hard Rock Live in with some food, the chicken messy sandwich.
Yeah.
We also have Animal House tomorrow, and our guy Kevin Spears from the Orlando Sentinel to talk about that leak, and of course, sure calls and talks and text back, or text and talk backs, plus 4 opportunities for you to win $1,000 as well. On behalf of Deb, Jack, and Ross, I am Jim. We follow the News Junkie. They follow the Monsters. The morning after us is Tom and Dan with the Corporate Time and our friends from Real Laughs. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 for more of the Jim